dust me, bounced upon the scene with a theme. Word life, a cup fantasy out, cause I differ from a dream. Wisdom lies deep in my molecules. You assumed I fell victim to hip-hop blues. Yo, way off, I stayed on tour often, rocking spots all the California coast, ranging on back to Boston, enforcing my theory. Leaving rappers teary-eyed, find most who came and thought they had stride. You accustomed to cussing and bluffing, fussing for nothing. Half of y'all crumbs are just soft like muffins I bake. Masterpieces, sharper thesis. Y'all candy-coated motherfuckers stink like feces. Needless to say, how these runners use yours. You retreated when I gave out head for wars. My microphone set is a immensely brick wall. Silent in and out, you slept, so now snore. Who got my back? You ass lord and blast master. Unorthodox combinations from the masters. Mics are menace, when it's finished. You get an understanding of what we bringing. No.
My decision is precision. I'm ill in ways you can't vision. I got niggas worshiping Lord finesse like religion. You can't fuck around, you're kidding. You don't want no collision. You better fly south like a pigeon. You're Britons. I flip flows you can't imagine. I break down your Flintstone style into fragments. So pay attention to the man rapping. Don't think that it can't. I'm living proof it can happen. I reign supreme, logical, verbally. I drop it in ways that you never dreamed possible. So lyrically, I personally figure that my Harvard style is too deep for you nursery niggas. When I clutch the mic, I'm coming rough and right. I build more than them workers on construction sites. I'm skilled at it. I'm illmatic. So yes answers your question if you ask me, do I still have it? I'm the realest, the illest, coming out the woodworks like them homos in the village. But seriously, I got the remedy if I was at the bottom of the toilet. You niggas still couldn't shit on me originally. It's the same bet. I'm on that get rich list, but they didn't call my name yet. I make it special like a prom night. I ball mics while other brothers are old news like what the Cronkite is critical. You got these Xerox individuals for word life. It ain't nothing like the original. I wreck kids. That's my theory and perspective when it comes to hip hop. I'm on the case like detectives.
All right. Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Podcast. Broadcasting to you live from the true north, Canada. This is Mr. BDA with you, and as always, my co-host, King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Sensational. First podcast of the year 2018, and if you want to join us on this monumental occasion, you can do so by going to Google Hangouts. Send us an instant message at the email address that's on the upper portion of your screen. That's boxingdebate@hotmail.com. And we're going to switch on over now to the usual view. And there we can see who's in the chat room. And you know what? You should join us. Don't be scared. Go to Google Hangouts, send us an email. If you don't know how to, I do believe I put a link in the description. There's a video tutorial about how to join up. So it's very easy, and you can join us anytime. We're not gonna bite, we're not gonna kill you, unless you do something really stupid. Then we won't do it, but other people will. And let me tell you something, there's a lot to talk about. First of all, let's see who's in the chat room. We got Dominic Palacios, as always. Sup, Dominic, how are you? Kaishal Alexander says, glad I caught the live stream. That's right. You caught us at the perfect time. So again, if you want to join us, you can do so by sending us an instant message through Google Hangouts at the email address that's on the upper portion of your screen. King Butcher's in the chat room. That's perfect. And what else? I'm going to boost up the volume here a little bit, just so that everything sounds nice and crisp. But like I said, a lot to talk about, man. 2018, we're off to a big start. Now, some people say, well, BDA, what are you talking about? There's no big fights today. First of all, yes, there are some big fights. Some very good fights. We got not Julius. What's his name? Dogboe. The guy I made a video about. Jesus. Can't believe I ever forgot his name. Cesar Juarez, of course, who is a very tough guy, taking on Isaac Dogboe. They're gonna be taking. I don't know what time the fight takes place live. All I know is that Bein Sports in Espanol is gonna be showing the fight. Broadcast starts at 11 p.m. Eastern time, and I would suggest you check that fight out. I don't know if it's gonna be on tape delay, whatever, but stay clear of boxing scene, fight news, whatever, and wait for that fight. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It's going to be a very interesting fight. Cesar Juarez likes to come forward. So does Dogboe. And that's the thing about Dogboe is he looks like he can box. Or he looks like he has that type of legs that he can use to box. But I never actually seen him box. All the fights that I've seen from him is he likes to come forward and really put some pressure. So, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in that fight other than perhaps we're going to see some nice little slugfest. Hopefully, that's what we see. And we can see what this Dogboe is made of. Again, featherweight title, WBO junior featherweight title. There are some good names at that division. We have Ray Vargas. We have Jesse Magdaleno. So those could make for some interesting fights. And Cesar Juarez is as tough as they come. How about you, Bucho? Butch, are you looking for that fight? Forward to the fight?
Yeah, I don't know much about what's his name again? The African.
Dogboe.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but I saw the video that you made,
Uh-huh.
and it looks like it's gonna be an interesting fight, like an exciting fight.
All right.
Wait, what time is that fight taking place? Because it's happening in Ghana, right? So that's like I don't know, 6 hour difference, 7?
Yeah, something like that,
or
man.
5,
Now listen,
or maybe 5.
like I told people before, I said, yeah, 11 p.m. Eastern on Bean Sports in Espanol. I don't know what time the fight actually takes place. We could look that up later to see the time difference. Meanwhile, let's go to the chat room. We got Death Vibes. What's up to him? Shout out. Luis Catorce has a question. He says, is Canelo the current lineal middleweight champ, or did he give that up when he vacated the WBC crown? Technically, you can be stripped of the lineal title if you stay in that division. I know Ring Magazine does it now, but I don't know. Sometimes they'll strip a guy if it fits their agenda. So I don't place too much importance on what Ring Magazine says anymore. For example, Stevenson, I think, is still the lineal champion at 175, and Canelo beat the man who beat the man who beat the man, so he's the champ. Dominic Pereira Palacios, shout out to him. UK Fight Group, shout out to him, saying yo people, that's right. And we're gonna start inviting people in a minute or so, but Ray G is on the line as well. Shout out to Ray. Tyson is still champ too. Oh, come on, man. I mean, he's making fun of us, man. He's making fun of us, but I'm telling you, the lineal title, it still means something. It's gotta mean something. It either something means or has some significance, or it doesn't. And the lineal title has to have significance. You can't rely on these belts. For example, I'll give you an example real quick. Let's say you're in a division and there's 4 title holders, right? But the top 2 guys don't have a belt. Now, if those 2 guys fight each other, does that make the guy the champ, or does he have to beat the guys who have the belts? Because let's face it, those belts, you can get a belt nowadays. If you wanted to, anyone listening out there, turn pro, and if you have enough money, pay the WBC, the WBA, whatever, and you'll be champ in no time. Let me tell you something. You'll have one of those belts strapped around your waist in no time. Trust me on that. What else we got here? Oh, yes. Gaia 500 is back from the lab, and I think this time there are no more issues. You guys tell us, and Bucho, you tell me if you can hear Gaia. Gaia, are you there?
May I ask a question?
Oh, fuck. Bucho, did you hear it?
Nope.
You didn't hear Gaia 500?
No, I didn't.
Why are you nude?
Did you hear that?
No.
Why
I don't know.
are
It's
you
not
nude?
working again.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think only people on YouTube can hear it.
Okay, let me ask you this. Can you... Well, I asked you before if you could hear, and you said yes.
Yeah, I know. We
Okay,
tried
can
it
you-
before, but
okay,
now
let
it
me-
doesn't work. I don't know.
Maybe it's just Gaia. Let's see if the soundboard works. Hold on a second.
Fucking quiz!
Did you hear that?
No.
See, this is what...
What the fuck? Well, we tried it before, man.
Anyway, listen, I think it's for the best, man. Like Victor said, this Gaia 500 can be very, very rambunctious. Let's just put it that way. It's reaching its own level of intelligence now, its own independence. I can't even shut it off anymore. The other day I was sleeping and I start hearing beep 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 beep, and I wake up and
You know what? I
it's
think the problem is, Google Hangouts, man.
yeah.
Check the settings there, man. That's what's happening, man.
But how come you could hear it before through Google Hangouts?
Did you change anything?
I didn't change anything, man. I'm telling you, next time we're gonna have to do a test on YouTube to see if it works.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway,
Anyways,
do we really need Gaia 500 to spout off whatever fucking...
no, the
bullshit
soundboard's
it's on
pretty
nowadays?
cool, man.
Yeah, I know it's pretty cool, but hey, you do what you gotta do. Anyway, what were oh yeah, lineal titles. Let's start with this, man. Butcher, what do you think about lineal titles? I mean, you and I have been watching boxing for about the same time. I mean, are we on the same page with titles, alphabet titles?
I mean, I started watching boxing when there was 3 belts.
When there were 3 belts,
the WBO, I didn't consider it.
Yeah, it wasn't
like a major title.
So
for me, like unifying all 3, which was kind of possible, made you the lineal champ.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Now it's very like there's no way you can have all the 4 belts. Like the last person who did it was Crawford, and he just dropped them. And before that, it was De La Hoya against when he fought Hopkins. That was a unification but it's very difficult to have 4 belts, man.
Oh yeah, well,
and everybody's moving up in weight. Like it's I don't know. I don't know if it's my opinion, but the way I see it, like boxers are moving up and down with more
frequency.
Like frequency.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I think this all started about 10 years ago when Pacquiao and Mayweather started weight hopping. I mean, there's been weight warriors before, right? Ray Leonard,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
But nowadays, it seems
so frequent.
Yeah,
I don't even know who has it. Way before, man. Like I knew who had which belt. You know, I was like, oh, these guys are the OBA. These guys now I don't even know who's who, man. Like I'm all confused. Like you look at junior middleweight, I don't know who has the WBC, I don't know who has the IBF, and then you have the WBA interim, you have the WBA regular, and then you have the WBA super. Like I can't follow, man, all that shit.
You sound very frustrated.
I just don't give a fuck about
you sound like as
anymore,
if some Vietnamese people kidnapped you and they're trying to shove something up your ass, man. I mean,
really, having some numb flashes.
Yeah, no, well, we get out of that alive, so let's just thank the
After
Lord
they're
that
playing
happened.
Russian roulette.
Yeah, too bad Jimmy didn't make it though. But, we should make a toast for Jimmy. But anyway, we're not here to talk about our illegal war experiences. We're here to talk about boxing. And listen, in the chat room, Luis Catorce says that Cyber Boxing Zone still lists Canelo as lineal. As well they should. The guy, as long as nobody beats him and he doesn't change weights, he's still the lineal champion. Now,
well, he did change weight when he fought for the WBO junior middleweight against Liam Smith.
Yeah, but he didn't stay there
the
permanently.
question is, how long do you stay away from the division?
Exactly, because if he permanently stays at 154 or 168, then yeah, he's no longer the middleweight champ. But for the purposes of this discussion, if he's still going to be defending that title, like for example when he defended against Golovkin, then yes, he was still the champ. But as far as Canelo's standing as a middleweight goes, if you think about it, like I said a couple of weeks ago, he fought Khan in 2016. That's not a middleweight. And I don't think they fought at middleweight, right? I think it was a catch weight of under 160.
155.
Oh, well, okay. So technically, it was a middleweight fight, but he didn't fight that middleweight contender, a top 10 middleweight contender. Then he fought Liam Smith, again not a middleweight. Then he fought Chavez Jr., who was heavier, so he didn't fight a midget this time, but again not a tough opponent. And then he fights Golovkin, the second or first best, whatever some people want to call it, the middleweight in the world, and he couldn't beat him. It was a draw. So what has Canelo done? Yes, he's still the champion. But his resume at middleweight for the past year and a half or 2 years has been pretty sketchy since he fought Cotto, man.
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to follow lineages, like lineages here. No, I'm saying lineages, not lineages. He did beat Cotto, and then that makes him the lineal champion. And it's not like he was out of the middleweight division for like 2 years or something.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
So he is a lineal champion. And then I remember like Lopez was saying like, how can you be the middleweight champion when you fight at 155? I'm like, I don't agree with the Canelo catchweight thing, but then again, what is middleweight? It's above 154 and below 160, right? So it's a middleweight fight.
Yeah, but
officially it's a middleweight fight. It's not a middleweight fight.
What I'm saying is, of course it's a middleweight fight, and of course Canelo is still the lineal champ. He hasn't lost the title. He hasn't lost the fight. But what I'm saying is, look at his middleweight resume since beating Miguel Cotto. Regardless of whether he's a champ or not, he hasn't beaten a top 10 middleweight. He just hasn't. And that's because he's Canelo. He can do whatever he wants. He's one of the boxing's biggest stars, so he can get away with that type of stuff. But really, shouldn't it be good for his legacy if he were defending the Lineal championship against some legitimate middleweight contenders instead of fighting money fights like Khan and Chavez Jr.?
I agree with that.
I mean, again, I gotta give him credit. He fought Golovkin, which is the the best opponent at middleweight for him. But hopefully, after he beats if he beats Golovkin in a rematch, which I don't know if that's gonna happen.
It's happening.
The fight or the fact that he's gonna beat him?
Oh no, the fight.
Don't sound so surprised, man. All right, we got John Wilson in the chat room. Shout out to him. Sanctus Deus Cruer just joined, and he's saying Canelo and legacy shouldn't be in the same sentence. Well, no, they should be. Let's not go too far. But what I'm saying is this past year, prior to Golovkin, it wasn't a terribly best Canelo resume that we've ever seen. Let's just put it that way. Also, I wanted to mention something here, because I've been watching a lot of videos recently from all over the internet and the boxing community, and I was reading watching, I should say, Precise Puncher's video on Fighter of the Year. Now, we had the discussion with a couple of our panelists last week regarding who was the fighter of 2017, and I share Precise Puncher's sentiments that we shouldn't get too hung up on who was the fighter of the year. I mean, it's at the end of the year, if you have 4 or 3 contenders, it's pretty subjective. You know, there are years when it's pretty subjective. But the fact that some people are saying that Terence Crawford should be the fighter of the year for 2017, I don't agree with that. And you can go on and watch Precise Punch's video on how he breaks that down, why Crawford shouldn't be the fighter of the year. And I agree with that. Just because you win, again, I go back to belts. Just because you win belts doesn't mean you beat quality opposition. Yes, belts, like Steve Kim always likes to say, they do serve a purpose for certain fighters. It earns them more money sometimes in negotiations and stuff like that. But for the most part, the rankings, when they can be malleable and flexible or bought, then that doesn't mean that like he says, like Precise says, the guy makes the belt, not the other way around. So it's the fighter that makes the belt. The belt doesn't make the fighter. Maybe 30, 40 years ago that was the case, but not anymore. And I also want to talk about Sean Newton's video. He did a video about a subject that's been interesting to me for for a while now, and that was Sugar Ray Leonard's resume versus Mayweather's resume. Because again, I don't like to talk too much about Mayweather because he's retired and what's done is done. That being said, when people call him the best ever, or he likes to call himself the best ever as well, I think we all know he's not the best ever. He's one of the best of all time, of course, and one of the best of his era. But to say that he's better than Sugar Ray Leonard, I don't know about that. And Sean Newton made a very good video breaking that logic down about why Sugar Ray Leonard is a better fighter. And listen, people will look at Leonard's record and say, well, he doesn't have as many fights as Mayweather. But it's quality over quantity here. Look at the quality of guys Leonard fought and beat, and how many he lost against, how many losses he had. So, hey man, check that video out. I think it's very interesting and very educational for people that don't really know how to break that argument down. Shout out to Canelo, give me my fight. He says, who won Juarez versus Dog Boy? I don't want to know, man. I don't want to know. I hope nobody spoils it. First of all, I didn't even know the fight already happened, so let's steer clear of any spoilers. Or if you are going to tell spoilers, at least write a tag or something. I mean, no, it can't really be done on the chat room, so consider other people and don't post any spoilers. Newton is an old-timer. His video was bad in my view, says Nicola Ferrari. Ooh, shout out to Nicola. Hyping Sugar Leonard with propaganda, not educational. Well, you can, that's your opinion, but really, are you saying Mayweather's resume is better than Leonard's? Come on, let's look at Leonard. Now, here's the other thing, though. When people look at, let's say, a win like Leonard's win over Benitez, in hindsight, Benitez, of course, is considered one of the all-time greats. Is that win better, equal, or worse than Mayweather's win over Cotto? Because Cotto, of course, in about 10, 15 years, is going to be looked at as an all-time great, which, I mean, already people know he's an all-time great, but how higher is his stock going to go? So That's a good question about overhyping old fighters. But listen, I still think that Leonard's resume. Let's put aside his resume for a moment, and let's get down to the real fantasy fight. Which I don't like fantasy fights, but let's go into the fantasy fight mode anyway. Who wins, Leonard or Mayweather? Oof, I gotta go
Leonard.
I gotta go with Leonard on that one. I'm not saying it would be a blowout, because Mayweather can hang in there and beat a lot of guys from all of history of boxing. And he probably hang in there with the ones he can't beat. But Leonard, man, listen, hey, if De La Hoya was giving Mayweather problems, and that was a half-retired De La Hoya, if Cotto gave Mayweather very, very hard problems. In Castillo, Jose Luis Castillo had Mayweather complaining to the referee and holding on every time he got hit with a body shot. Could you imagine what Leonard's body shots would do?
And the speed.
And the speed. Hey, if you thought Mayweather had trouble with Mosley in the first couple of rounds, you should...
Subdue. He had trouble against Subdue as well.
Yeah.
I mean, for a few rounds.
Credit to him, he made adjustments. But Sugar Leonard is not Shane Mosley, and he's not Subdue. He makes adjustments himself.
Also, De La Hoya had some speed, even though he was like 36 or something.
That shotgun jab of his,
Coked
man.
up. Yeah.
I actually think maybe he did better because of the coke.
Oh, I think so too, man.
Maybe,
for the first few rounds.
Do you think De La Hoya...
He got tired, man. That's the thing. He got tired. But De La Hoya always got tired, man.
Yeah, even in
Always
his
got
prime.
tired.
Well, except...
Even in his prime.
A couple of exceptions.
Against Corte, even against Corte, well,
yeah, listen.
Well, then Corte got tired as well,
the
man.
exception was Corte, and against Pernell Whitaker, he finished the show pretty strongly on that one as well. But yeah,
he
man.
didn't. But how many punches per round were thrown in that fight, though?
Yeah, I don't
Was it
know.
really?
After in the Corte fight in the middle rounds, he really stopped punching once Corte got the jab going. Now, let me ask you a question, and this is just a speculation. We're not accusing anybody of anything. Do you think De La Hoya wore women's clothing under his trunks, and do you think that gave him power? Do you think that motivated him to fight harder?
Increase the morale.
I'm waiting for an
Probably.
answer there, Butcher.
I said increase. I mean, I don't know. I have to do an investigation.
You don't know. It's a simple question, yes or no?
Probably.
Probably. You know what? That's what I hate about you, Butcher. You don't want to make a commitment with your answers. You don't want to commit with any answers. And that's the other thing about Mr. BDA. My New Year's resolution, I'm gonna start making predictions now. Because I was always on the fence. I'm always like I'm the neutral guy. No, fuck that. I'm gonna be making predictions now. I'm gonna tell you the predictions, and then if I get them completely wrong, that's the name of the game. You can't get them right all the time. Otherwise, what's the fun in that?
What's your first prediction?
My first prediction is I punch you in the mouth next time you interrupt me.
I
Well, let's see what people are saying in the chat. Canelo, give me my fight, says Triple G will probably start faster in a rematch. He's talking about a rematch against Canelo. And have less respect for Canelo's power. Perhaps. John Wilson says, I don't see Golovkin changing his game plan. You never know. He's a smart guy. Said Ham B says Triple G will be even older. Canelo will have a feel for Triple G's style. Canelo says, hopefully Triple G is juiced up. Genobi Maxey says, I think Triple G would be much more reliant on his jab against Canelo in a rematch. Same
He would have done that in the second part of the fight, or something.
Well, he started to a little bit, right?
Towards, I don't know.
Ray says...
What? Did he? What?
Ray says, speaking of Deloy, he says he probably had some kind of little toy up his butt.
Oh my god.
You never know, man. Dominic Palacio says, Sanctus Deus. He's addressing Sanctus Deus. Decent fighters, Diaz in particular, but nothing else. Who's he talking about? Anyway, I have to go back in the chat. Nicola Ferrari says, can we stop this hype for past grace? We hold Cyril Leonard to modern standards when he's massively overrated. I don't know. Butcher, what do you think about that? Do you think Leonard's overrated? I mean, how? Who overrates him?
I think Mayweather's overrated.
I mean, listen.
It's always overrated boxers. I mean, but Leonard, I mean, because the speed and the power, and he was, for a welterweight, he was kind of tall. No, he was like 5'10".
No, look.
5'11"? No, 5'10".
I'm going to repeat a lot of what Sean Newton said because it's the truth, all right? Take a look at who Leonard beat, man. And not just who he beat, how he beat him. Benitez stopped him. Benitez, one of the all-time greatest Puerto Ricans of all time. He knocks him out. Duran. He beat Duran twice. Of course, the third fight, Duran fat and everything, but all right. And even the second fight, but he beat him. So we got Benitez, we got Duran, two all-time greats right there. He beats Hearns, stops him. No bullshit decision, no close decision, no running the 12.
No hugging all the time.
He went for it. And then Marvin Hagler. Come on, look at those 4 wins, man. And then he also got the title at 154 against, what was this, Salub Coyote? Some African fighter. At 150. Now, of course, I don't think anybody's going to count his win over Daniel Lalonde. But let's face it, man. The way he beat guys, even tough guys like Daniel Lalonde, he stopped them.
In the Olympic, I mean, you want to count amateur background? I mean, an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
That's
well, now
pretty...
shout out to Cover Operative, but he's saying he avoided Marlon Starling, Aaron Pryor, Milton McCrory, Donald Curry. Okay, Donald Curry. You really think Donald Curry would have beaten Leonard? And that's the other thing. Leonard took some time off because of the retina. He wasn't going to be coming back to fight those guys for, take a risk for those guys. He's saying Aaron Barkley.
At least he had an excuse, man. I mean, I don't know what Mayweather's excuse was in 2008 to retire. Like he accomplished everything in boxing.
He's saying
he ends up in WWE. I mean,
Mike McCollum, I will agree with you. Mike McCollum, yeah. But Aaron Barkley, that's like saying, Mayweather avoided fighting Joshua Clottey or something. It's like, come on, it's those guys are contenders. He beat the cream of the crop. He beat Hagler, he beat Hearns, he beat Duran, Benitez. What more?
Yeah, you have second level fighters. It's like saying Mayweather didn't fight Bradley or something. It's like would have been a good fight.
Yeah. I mean, he would have added to his resume, but Donald Curry was pound for pound number 1. Yeah, that's like one of those guys that with Donald Curry, every time I hear his name is what could have been. He did plenty, but he's like the Adrian Broner of that era. Although, I mean, maybe that's an insult to Donald Curry, but what I'm saying is there was more potential there, and he never really quite lived up to that.
We can give credit to Sugar Ray Leonard for fighting Hagler, by the way.
No, you can't.
Yeah, the fight was controversial.
People say you can't because he didn't actually win the fight, blah, blah, blah.
No, but he did go... No, I mean, just the fight that he fought him.
Exactly.
It's a bit like De La Hoya against Hopkins. I felt like he took that fight. I mean, those are the kind of risks that some fighters never take.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because it's almost a loose... I mean, De La Hoya was against Hopkins. He didn't have to do that shit.
No, he did. Well, he did it.
And he didn't even make it 160. He was like a 155 or some shit.
You gotta take it easy, Bucho. You gotta take it easy. You're getting a little worked up.
No, what I'm saying is some boxers never take those types of... They only take the risk... Fights that they are the favorites, so they have a good chance of winning.
We got a little trouble brewing in the chat room. Nicola Ferrari and Crawford, they were in agreement about their argument that are Leonard dog guys. But then UK Fight Group came along and he says Nicholas and Dominic, he calls him Dominic, know they're boxing for females. For females. Oh, is Nicola a female or is that an insult? I don't know, Nicola. You gotta expose yourself. Are you a female or are you a male? Because if you are a female, now that changes things. People are gonna start sending you instant messages and sending you, I don't know, maybe dick pics. You never know. It's amazing how. Who was it that underwent like an undercover operation as a girl on the internet? Like they posted girl pictures as their avatar, and within I don't know how much time they were receiving a bunch of dick pics.
Oh, it's possible.
Yeah. As long as
I heard fucking stories, man.
Hambi says gender is fluid.
I was gonna say that. I was like, hey, who knows? Maybe he's like a cis. What do they call it now? I don't know. They have like 35.
We shouldn't. Yeah, we shouldn't address. We shouldn't put genders or actually stamp people with only 2 genders. Otherwise, YouTube is gonna kick us out because they promote that whole stuff about multiple genders, like they got 17 or something. Nicholas says, no, I'm not a female, no dicks please, no dick pics. Well, you're gonna get them anyway now apparently. I mean, I don't control this.
They're on their way.
Yeah, people are gonna send them to you right now. Stand by. All right, I think Ray wanted to...
Oh shit, yeah, we forgot about Ray, man.
No, I didn't forget, but because I wanted to address that whole Sugar Ray Leonard thing early in the show.
Oh, whatever, man. Sugar Ray Leonard took a fucking risk. Went all the way to middleweight.
That's right.
That was after layoff and stuff. Like, I mean, come on, let's be honest.
No,
that was a big risk.
Because when it comes to legacies, like you said, De La Hoya didn't have to take on Hopkins, and he lost, okay, but look at his resume now. You look at his resume, and even though he never really got any big, huge wins, he fought everybody. That enhances your standard as a boxer. These guys that claim to be the best ever, if you want to be the best ever or considered in the top 10 best boxers of all time, you have to take unnecessary risks. like going up and fighting the top guy. But that's the thing. That's the other problem. Like you said, Bucho. Nowadays, there's no really top guys
The
because they're all
record.
moving. No, but what I'm saying is they're all
No,
moving up in
also
divisions.
good bullshit.
And then you get guys like
Clean at
Golovkin.
least. Okay, clean a division. Clean a division at least.
That's what I'm
See,
saying.
there's always something you can do. If there's not enough, it's like Vladimir Klitschko. Let's be honest, heavy division was shit while he was there, right? Well,
Right.
there was no question about like he was the man in that division, and he was cleaning it up. So now he's going to the Hall of Fame, and nobody's complaining about Klitschko.
That's
You know,
true.
nobody's criticizing Klitschko. Nobody's saying Klitschko didn't do this, or he could have. He was only fighting once a year or something. No, he was fighting all the time. He was okay, beating contenders who, let's be honest, are not one of the best of contenders, but that's what there was at that time, and so there's always something to do, man.
And Kaishal Alexander just reminded me to tell people to press the like button and subscribe because it does help out. And don't forget, you can join us right now in the conversation. Go to Google Hangouts and give us a call at boxingdebate@hotmail.com. You send us your email, and we can invite you to the Hangout. And speaking of inviting people to Hangouts, we got Ray on the line. Ray, how are you?
Good.
Good to have you, man. And let me ask you something. Drinking in New Year's, how'd that go?
Took it pretty light. I worked that day, so I was on weekend actually, so I didn't.
Oh,
I
so
called it a night pretty early.
So you drank at work?
No. I worked days. I just came and drank a little bit at home, and that was it. I called it a night. It's a pretty long weekend.
You should have made up a story, man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
my imagination's just not that good.
Yeah. You should next time make something up, man. Make it more entertaining.
Oh, okay.
Now, what do you think about this whole situation with? Because I just brought up Ray Leonard and Nicola Ferrari and Covert Operative said he's overrated and he avoided a bunch of people at welterweight, which is, he beat the criminal crop. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Leonard took on most all the big names, right? I mean, I can't say I've seen all his big fights, but when you get into a debate, you're always gonna have people that are gonna favor towards whoever they like and shit on anybody else. So
Which fights
everything is subjective. So
which fights have you seen from Leonard?
Duran ones.
Uh-huh.
I know I've seen another one. I don't know off the top of my head.
The Duran ones, man. Let me tell you something. It was a freaking war, and it lasted 15 rounds. Like nowadays, guys, there's some guys that can go 12 rounds in a hard fight, but man, 15 rounds at the pace those two went, body shots, headshots, up everything in the book. I mean, every punch in the book thrown and landed. My goodness gracious, I mean, that's gotta be one of the best fights ever. No doubt about it. Actually, I spoke to somebody a couple of months ago who was at the fight live in Montreal, watching the fight live. I can't imagine what that must have been like, man. Such an historic event. What are people saying in the chat room? Aaron Pryor. Yeah, well, he could have fought Aaron Pryor, but Aaron Pryor had business of his own at 140. Luis Catorce says the O is overrated. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. John Wilson says Sugar Ray Robinson, 128 wins. One loss? No, he didn't have one loss. Oh, he's talking when he was on his run, I suppose. 84 KOs, greatest of all time, says Sanctus Deus Core. Yeah. 128 and 1 winning streak. Yeah, I got what you mean, Sanctus. Don't worry about it. Now, Ray, I didn't ask you last week. First of all, what are some of the fights that you want to see for 2018? Now, let me tell you something before you answer. You only get 3 fights. Let's be realistic about this. If 3 fights you could make for 2018, which ones would it be?
Lomachenko, Garcia. I'd like to see Garcia Linares. And actually, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
It'd probably be a bunch of 175 fights. Body Jack, Kovalev. Probably a bunch of stuff on 175. Actually, now that I think about it.
So you would spend your 3 chances on that division alone.
Yeah. I could easily spend 3 there, but probably Lomachenko Garcia is number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would say maybe Kovalev, Body Jack. God, who else? That fucking division's so stacked, man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You said you
It's,
also
it's
said
hard to
Linares
pick.
got.
Yeah, I'd like to see Linares Garcia, but I think probably more stuff at 175 would probably be a
I'm not
little more
even.
appealing.
I'll tell you something though. You just brought up a good point here. I don't like you want to see Garcia Linares. I gotta ask you, why do you want to see it?
I think it'd be a closer, more competitive fight than Lomachenko and than any of the other two. I think it'd be a hell of a fight, man. I think Garcia would probably knock him out,
Hmm.
but I think Linares would fucking just go all out, man. Just go for broke, you know.
As well, he should because he's think about it, Linares. He's never beaten a top guy. Like you look at his resume, who has he really beaten? I mean, Oscar Larios 10 years ago. What's his name? Kevin Mitchell. Recently, he
Actually,
fought.
you know what?
Yeah,
Third would be Spence and Thurman, actually.
Spence and Thurman. Now that's the other thing. That's a fight that most people would want to see, Spence Thurman. Then again, I've been hearing a lot of people. Their wish is that if they could control boxing, their wish would be for Spence to bypass Thurman and go straight into a Terence Crawford fight. Now I'm thinking, I don't think a Terence Crawford versus Spence fight would be that better in terms of entertainment than Thurman Spence.
I don't think so either. I think Crawford would be like really technical and cautious in that fight. He would really just box for 12 rounds. I don't think he would really he wouldn't go for a knockout or anything like that.
No, he wouldn't.
I think it'd be a pretty cautious technical fight.
I mean, he boxed against Victor Postal. I don't think he's gonna go straight at Spence. Jamrock is asking BDA Spence versus Crawford. Who you got? Well, again, 2018. And by the way, Ray, do you have a New Year's prediction? I mean, not prediction. New Year's resolution that you're gonna be taking up in 2018.
Nah, I don't do that stuff.
All right. May I suggest that you make up stuff? That's your New Year's resolution. Make up answers. But I'll tell you my resolution is I'm gonna start making picks. So Jamrock is asking me who you got between Spence and Crawford. I'd have to go with Crawford. Yes, I would. I'd go with Crawford. I thought Kell Brook was doing a pretty good job of outboxing.
Yeah,
Spence.
you know what? He struggled against Kell Brook in some places. And I'd actually also really like to see Sean Porter and Errol Spence because I'd like to see how Errol Spence really does with somebody who applies that kind of pressure.
That's a very good fight as well.
I think Thurman would make it a really ugly fight, and I don't know if I'm not saying he can't, but you've never seen Spence in a fight like that get really challenged by somebody like that. I think that'd be a great fight.
I think we're gonna get a little taste of that, of somebody trying to push him back against Lamont Peterson. I'm expecting Lamont Peterson to try and box more in the early rounds, like he did against or like he tried to do against Matias and against Danny Garcia. But I think at some point he's gonna stand in there and really try to go toe to toe with Spence.
Yeah,
Seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, he's gonna get knocked out. I think.
Yeah, that's the thing because he doesn't have the power.
He doesn't have. I don't know if he has the chin to really deal with Spence. Lamont's been down a few times, but man, Spence is he may be the hardest hitting in the division.
And here's the other thing somebody reminded me is that what's his name? Peterson isn't really a natural welterweight. I mean, he's been a welterweight now for the past couple of years, but for the most part, he is not a natural welterweight. Spence seems to be a natural. He started out at welterweight, right?
He's a big welterweight, right?
So yeah, so I'm thinking, man. If Peterson tries to go in there, he doesn't have the power and he doesn't have really the size, and that would matter. Size would matter in an inside fight against a guy who already has more power than him. So I don't know, man. But the Porters,
I would put money on KO Spence. Honestly, if I was in Vegas, I'd throw some money down that.
A lot of people are saying the same thing as you in the comments, and from what I'm reading on the internet is, obviously people favor Spence because he's a favorite, but they're saying stoppage, and the only guy who stopped Peterson so far is Lucas Matisse. So if Spence can do that, that's really a big notch on his belt. But that when you said Porter versus Spence, that's really one of the most intriguing fight matchups in terms of style. But realistically, I think Thurman Spence is the one that I would go for.
Yeah, I'm just doing it strictly for just to see who's the man in that division really is, because Porter's taking not Porter, Thurman's taking out a few guys, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of got to put him at the top of the division.
Well, let me ask you this: shouldn't,
definitely up there too.
in terms of marinating the fight, shouldn't Spence and Thurman get it on first in order to establish really who is the best at welterweight?
Yeah, that's what I would want to see. I would want to see that, and then Crawford, because Crawford, Crawford's going to fight Horn anyway. He's going to get an easy fight. He's going to destroy Horn. Like Horn is just so easy to hit, and Crawford's just going to have a field day with that.
I don't know how easy it's going to be to hit him because
you saw his last fight, right? He blocks punches with his face.
I didn't see that fight.
He doesn't have movement. He's just going to be for the taking. For
Okay,
Crawford.
I'm gonna have to watch the fight because I haven't seen the fight, the last Horn fight.
Yeah.
So you saying he got
Corcoran,
tagged?
I think maybe. Corcoran. He got hit a lot in that fight. He had no defense. He was just he just hit the other guy a lot harder,
Mm-hmm.
But he's just there to be hit.
Yeah, shit, man. Because I saw his fight against some French guy. Because there was a French guy, I've already forgot his name, but he had an Arab name, but he's from France. He hails from France. He was sparring at in Montreal a couple of weeks ago or months ago. He's pretty good handspin and everything. And I saw that he fought Horn, and I saw the fight on the internet, and it was a pretty good scrap. Horn shows that he has some wrinkles to his game, good footwork, good pivoting. Now that's the thing that I've always wondered, because I gotta ask you. When the best opponent that he's ever taken on, Jeff Horn, he took on Pacquiao, right?
Yeah.
Pacquiao looked very sloppy in that fight. Now, is that a result of Horn's dirty tactics and footwork, which frustrated Pacquiao, or is that Pacquiao just getting old?
He's getting old, I think a younger Pacquiao, when Pacquiao first stepped up to welter, he would have knocked that guy out. And he almost had him in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Was it round 9 or round 10?
I think
a younger,
10,
fresher, fresher Pacquiao would have put him out, but it was you can't complain, I guess. Horn's a bigger guy, and Manny's not even. I don't think Manny's even cutting weight to make welterweight. So it's just, he's just a little guy, and he's getting older.
When Pacquiao fought, what's his name, Bradley the third time, or was it against Vargas? Didn't he fight at 140?
No, I think that was a welterweight. I don't think Bradley went below welterweight. He came in under. I think he's been coming in at like 143, 144. So he's not, or he did 145 in one of the fights. So I don't think he's really cutting much weight.
Because I think
he could probably do 140 if he wanted to, but may not have much left. But who's he going to fight at 140? Who's he going to have at 140 that people would pay to see?
Now, you think Pacquiao could still make 140?
I think he probably could. If he's been coming in halfway in the middle of welterweight, he doesn't look drained or anything. He just, I just don't think he's really cutting much weight to make welterweight. He's just a small guy.
Now, let's go to the stylistically, Terence Crawford, because now you told me that Horn got hit a lot in his last fight, and I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen it, so I made the mistake of assuming that since he beat the other guy, that he might have dominated him. But you're telling me he got hit a lot. Now
he got hit a lot. Yeah.
Let's go back to the Pacquiao fight then to set things in context, because both Crawford and Pacquiao are southpaws, or actually Crawford likes to switch it. I don't know which one he actually prefers, but lately he's been fighting as a southpaw, and it seems to pay dividends because it makes him a more difficult target. He loves it when guys come to him. Like Julius Ndongo with his bad technique and wide open shots was a perfect target for Crawford. Pacquiao was able to tag Horn coming in a couple of times, especially in that round, like you said, I think 9th or 10th round, where he really hurt him and started putting it on him. But let's take a look at Horn's qualities. First of all, he closes the distance pretty quickly, so Pacquiao couldn't time him whenever he wanted, and he made things very hard on the inside for Pacquiao, who has no inside game. On the other hand, like you said,
he's got a good chin too.
And he's got a fucking good chin. And the fact that he came back from that disastrous round that he had against Pacquiao, and that and he had a busted up face, it does show that he has heart. So anybody that's
he got heart, definitely. Yeah.
Anybody like him who has heart, a chin, and dirty inside game is gonna be pretty difficult to beat. On the other hand, Crawford is fresher than Pacquiao, so putting all those factors in together, do you still think Crawford makes easy work of Horn?
Yeah, I think he does. He may not put him out, but I think you'll probably see something like a post-style type fight.
Okay, so you think he boxes?
Yeah, I think he'll box him. If it's going to be his first welterweight fight, he's probably going to be a little more cautious. Knowing that the guys are going to be bigger, have more power. He'll kind of do it as more like testing the waters.
Mm-hmm.
I think see how he feels after 12 rounds.
Let's see what people are saying about that fight. Sanctus Dios Crow is saying young Pacquiao was 105, 126 pounds. Oh, I think he's talking about some substances that maybe Pacquiao might have taken in order to make the weight.
Yeah,
Crawford,
people are saying Nevada hurt him.
Yeah, yeah. So who said that in the chat? I think it was.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, somebody said that I can't go back right now.
Oh, V Shaka Pierre.
Bishak, okay. Reese Mack, shout out to Reese Mack. He says Crawford flip-flops right lefty. Yeah, he's a switch hitter, man. He loves it. Condoleezza
Yeah, but sometimes though, when he gets into a fight and he'll find out right off the bat what position he's going to fight in, and he won't switch for the whole fight.
Yeah,
he's done that in a few. He'll immediately go back, and if he didn't feel it, then that's he's not going to fight in that position.
You don't really see a lot of guys being able to do that anymore. Right now, I mean, he has to be the best switch hitter in the game, or the only switch hitter. I can't think of anybody who does it consistently as Crawford does, or as well as he does. Condoleezza, we got Condoleezza Rice in the chat room. Shout out to Condoleezza, the former, what was he, Secretary of State back in the day, a couple of years ago.
So, yeah.
And we have New World Order Boxing. New World Order Boxing and Condoleezza Rice on the same chat. I hope they get into it. White Tony says, no, NWO Boxing, I haven't seen it. Who's Charlie Brown? Because NWO Boxing says, hold on, let me find that. He says, White Tony, have you seen Charlie Brown's GoFundMe page on Google? Begging for money. Who's Charlie Brown? Ray, do you know who they're talking about? Or
No.
They can't be talking about the Charlie Brown, can they?
No.
Check out his bio. He's a pure beggar, saying he's got no qualifications to get a job. Okay, I don't know who they're talking about, man. I don't know who they're talking about.
It's getting out of control.
Nothing's getting out of control. There's no such thing as control in the BDA chat room. If you think you can control the BDA chat room, you got another thing coming, man. Cover Operative says, you're a Klitschko fan, I gather. Talking to Nicola Ferrari. I was absolutely disgusted by Vladimir's professional foul against Povetkin. Klitschko should have been disqualified. Oh, he should have been disqualified. Sanctus Dios calls White Tony. He calls him White Tranny. I love it when people call me childish, whatever you want, but I love it when people take a name and they turn it into an insult, but in the most simple of ways. Like some people were calling Lomachenko. Just the fact that you had an E at the end.
I like triple fraud.
Triple fraud.
That's one of my favorite ones. That's one of my favorite ones.
You gotta keep it simple. You keep it simple. That's funny to Mr. BDA. You don't have to go overboard or try to make a witty name. Something that that's smart. No, I don't care about smart. I just want it simple, and I want it right now. Nicola Ferrari says.
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead.
How dirty was Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko, overall throughout his career?
Pretty dirty.
Okay. I agree. His style wasn't. I mean, the jab and hold thing. That was pretty pathetic. But it
I
worked.
guess that's what Manuel taught him.
Yeah,
That's
use your height and don't get tired. Because he was after that. You remember after what's his name? Jeez, Lamont. God damn it. What's his name?
Brewster.
The guy
Lamont Brewster. Yeah.
Lamont Brewster. Then after that fight, Klitschko started pacing himself because he would get tired all the time. So what was it? He started trying the jab and hold and slow down the pace and survive for 12 rounds, or maybe knock out his opponent. That was his whole trick. I'm not saying Klitschko was a bum or anything. I mean, I think he's one of the best heavyweights of all time because of how he dominated the division.
Oh yeah.
But now I wasn't impressed. Somebody also said in the chat that, he was a good... I think it was Nikolai. The division was pretty stacked. I don't think it was though.
Well, listen,
I don't know what you guys think.
Chagayev, Ibragimov, those were some good opponents. But that's like you said, the way he won those fights, clinching non-stop. I mean, I can't excuse it. I'll excuse. You know what? I'd actually rather you be dirty in a way that impresses me, like inside fighting that the ref doesn't see or something like that. But just hugging all out. I mean,
he was using his height a lot.
Not entertaining.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Effective, but it wasn't entertaining. And he was using his height a lot also, remember? And then he fought guys his height that actually had some talent. He wasn't, against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury just outboxed him.
But now, White Tony says disagrees with people calling Vladimir a cherry picker, and I disagree with that as well, because he did, like I said, look, he fought everybody that was available. Were they the best? No. But Chagayev, Ibragimov, Eddie Chambers, who was on a good run, Povetkin,
David K. Everybody was saying, David K. He has a puncher's chance, and Klitschko also has a chin. I remember, because his chin was always questionable.
Right.
And he did fight David K. And David K. didn't do shit. So
no, he did not, man. So yeah, you gotta give Klitschko credit for that. But when it comes to the way he fought, nah. No. I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't. He started becoming a hugger. He became a hugger. Plain and simple.
By the way,
what's that?
Sorry to interrupt, man. I'm gonna forget this, but like the LDBC and all these boxing fans are supposedly boxing fans that always bring up race. They claim that Lomachenko, you just put in number one your pound for pound list because he's white, blah blah blah. It's like fucking Klitschko is white. Last time I checked.
Yeah.
And he was never mentioned as. Nobody was praising him, and he couldn't even fight in the U.S. Nobody wanted to see him because he was so boring.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't because so this racial bullshit is.
Yeah, well, listen, we all know how that works. That's a good point, Bucho, but we all know how that works out. The whole race thing, we already know that racists are going to be racist. Now, Nicola Ferrari says, BDA, you praise Ward, but you can't excuse Klitschko. Well, because Ward, he clinched, but I've never seen, except for in the Kovalev fight, I've never seen another guy feint in order to set up a clinch. Klitschko did it a whole bunch of times. Even when he wasn't in trouble, he would just clinch. But I have criticized Ward for excessive holding, like against Kessler, man. That was had to be one of his dirtiest, if not his dirtiest fight, man. But he also busted Kovalev up with good. Kessler up with good shots, so flush shots. So that wasn't hugging all the time, but he did hug excessively as well. And I don't defend Ward all that much. I do think that the people that don't like him, that dislike him, they like to put his record to shame, because they denigrate his opposition. But he was a hugger as well. But he was a good fighter. And Klitschko as well. Look, I'm giving him credit. He beat everybody. But let's not make it out like he wasn't hugging. Like put Ward aside. Did Vladimir Klitschko hug excessively? Yes or no? That's the only answer.
Yeah.
I want a yes or no answer. And I think we all know what the answer is. So, you can try and say he beat everybody, blah, 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 which is true. But he hugged excessively. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I can post a video if I can find one on YouTube. I'm pretty sure somebody's made compilations of Klitschko and his hugging. Right? I don't know. Bucho, what do you think? Do you think that's necessary?
No, there's no doubt. You cannot question that. It's a fact. He clinched excessively.
Ray, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
He was so boring. HBO didn't even want to fucking put his fights on. That's how boring he was.
Now, the interesting thing, if we're going to talk about what ifs, I try to be like Frank Sinatra most of the time, and I don't like to talk about the what ifs and regrets, but man, if Vladimir Klitschko was doing a very good job of beating everybody at heavyweight, everybody that was around, I got to wonder what Vitaly would have done had he stayed around for a couple more years, or even if they would have fought each other.
I don't know. They were never gonna fight. But
no, I know. But what if?
What if Vitaly was the best one, in my opinion? He would have knocked out Joshua. He would have knocked out Wilder. He would have knocked out everyone.
I don't know if he would have knocked out. And actually, you know what? I think he would have stopped Joshua because he had better stamina.
Fuck yeah! Who would give him a fight? Maybe Lennox Lewis, but then you saw him. Then again, Lennox was overweight and shit.
Okay, but
What?
Tyson Fury. You think he would give Vitaly a tough fight? Because they have similar styles.
You know what? It's a good question. But then, because Klitschko has the power, man.
Yeah,
the height, the power.
Cover Operative says Vladimir was aesthetically horrible. No wonder HBO pulled the plug on his later bouts. And White Tony says, no, HBO is a liberal hive who won't have Vlad on because he was an African American. Vlad was a superstar in his adopted Germany. Okay, so now it's the other way around. Now HBO is racist. I mean, come on. I get racist against whites. It wasn't because Vladimir Klitschko wasn't black. It's because he was boring, man. Let's face it, excessive holding. And hey, was it a coincidence that the first time he fought in the United States in a long time, he finally got penalized for holding against what was his name?
Somebody talked with the ref, man.
Was that?
Somebody had a chit chat with the ref and told them, "Hey, guess what? Like, don't."
No, but Brian Jennings.
Don't let Klitschko stink up the joint.
Nicola Ferrari says Vlad only clinched a lot against Povetkin. That's it. Oh, come on, he clinched a lot even against David Haye.
That was the worst fight. I mean, what the hell? Povetkin was rolling on the floor. What the hell was going on in that fight?
Oh, and against against Tyson Fury, against Jennings, against Hasim Rahman, I think as well. Lehman Brewster. I mean, look.
Samuel Peters.
We're not gonna pull up the video, but you guys watch it if you want. Write Klitschko excessive clinching on YouTube or something. You're gonna get a lot.
Klitschko we're not saying, because people might misinterpret what we're saying. I mean, he is an elite boxer, right? This guy won a gold medal,
right?
He has one of the best jabs I've seen in the heavyweight division. Maybe next to Lennox Lewis and Larry Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
He's a smart boxer as well, but I think he could have made his style a little bit more exciting and still would have won. But I don't know. He chose to fight that way, and it's a shame.
He chose to fight that way after suffering 2 knockout defeats. Not back to back, but almost back to back against Corey Sanders and against Brewster, and even before that, he had lost against Purity.
And knockout defeats, right? So that's how you have to, like, after you come back from those type of stoppages. I mean, it's like you have to reassess everything, right? Like, you have to go back to the drawing board and go, like, okay, what am I doing wrong? I have to make some big changes, and that's what he did. He did some major changes.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it turned out to be a fucking shitty style of boxing.
Yeah, effective, but you said, boring. Nicola Ferrari says, no, you're wrong, BDA. Most of the time, he clinched his opponents, running out of ideas and rushing him on the inside. Okay, but you're saying he clinched. So whether his opponents run into him or not, he's clinching them, and it's unnecessary. Well, unnecessary in the sense aesthetically unnecessary, but for him it served the purpose, which was he was putting all his 245
I mean, they were
pounds.
coming in sometimes, and he opened his arms and he embraced them in a fucking clinch.
But whether they were coming in or going out, he clinched them either way, man. He clinched all the time. Listen, I'm not gonna argue when there's video evidence out there. I mean, I know what my eyes saw. There's no excuse for excessive holding. If you're hurt during a fight, you got a hug. All right, fine. But
there's a reason. You can actually clinch if the guy's coming in with his fucking head, which I've seen fighters do. Like Sean Porter does that. Andre Ward, sometimes they come in with their heads. So you have no choice. Like, what do you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
Kind of like a clinch and move. But you can't say that every Klitschko, like all the opponents or most of the opponents that Klitschko faced were coming in with their heads or anything like that.
Here's the thing: this is a sport where people are hitting each other and trying to hurt each other. In that type of sport, things are gonna get sloppy. When people are their self-preservation instinct kicks in or whatever, or their avoidance to pain, their need to avoid pain, some people are going to resort to several things. So like you said, when somebody rushes in with your head, all right, you got to clinch as well. You got to do something to counter that. And punching doesn't always work. Globula N says, move on to the next topic. I agree.
He's right. Let's move on.
Let's move on to another thing. Now, I do have...
What's the next topic?
Well, first of all, like I said, I got to remind people to come on in to the Google Hangouts. Go to Google Hangouts, send us a message at the address that's on the top part of your screen. That's boxingdebate@hotmail.com. If you don't know how to use Google Hangouts, there's a short video in the description of this stream that shows you how to log on. It's a 1 minute video, not even. Well, no, actually 1:30 1 minute 30 seconds. And you go into that video and it shows you how to come in and join us, because we do appreciate when people come in and give us their opinion, and we also appreciate the people in the chat room giving us their opinion. But we like to talk to people on a one-to-one basis as well, to the microphone. So I also want to remind people that Ismael Dogboe is taking on Cesar Juarez tonight on Bein Sports. So if you don't have Bein Sports in Espanol, I'm pretty sure you can get it someplace else on the internet, if you know what I mean. So check that fight out, because it's a very intriguing fight, and if I had to bet, I would probably bet that it's going to be a very entertaining fight, because both guys like to come forward, especially Dogboe. I don't know if he can box. He looks like he can box, so he does have hand speed and good footwork, but for the fights that I've seen, he likes to come forward and dig in body shots. Juarez does as well. That's his game. So they might meet each other in the center of the ring and just go to war. So if you want a nice war to start off the year, that's one that we can look at. Sanctus says, any links? I don't got any links. But if I were to provide, if I did have to watch the fight on the internet, I would suggest you download something called Ace Stream Player. That's Ace Stream Player. And after you download that, you go to Google and you write Ace Stream Player boxing streams, and I think that's the way you can watch fights online. I don't know, that's what I hear, right, Bucho?
That's what the little bird's saying.
The little bird. What are you, what's the guy from Game of Thrones, Littlefinger?
Tyrion?
No, Varys.
No,
the bald guy, he's
that's him. I thought it was Littlefinger that always talks about my little birds told me that.
No, that's Varys.
Alright, that's Varys, the guy without a cock. I always get them confused. They all look like they don't have any cocks. By the way, there's Varys, there's, what's his name? From the Iron Islands. Bucho, help me out here, man.
Shit, I don't know.
The one that got his dick cut off?
Yeah, Theon.
Greyjoy. Neon.
He doesn't have a cock either. It seems like Tyrion had his cock cut off by Khaleesi. So, everybody's cockless in that goddamn show, man. It's like they had a transsexual operation or something. People in the chat room are still talking about
Klitschko, man. Get over it.
And by the way, Cover Operative saying Klitschko had about 70 fights. That's actually quite impressive nowadays. You don't see anybody with over 60 fights nowadays. But then again, you count in that he turned pro in 97, I think, or right after the Olympics in 96. So he fought quite often, so that makes sense. Also, let's give Billy Joe Saunders credit. We already gave him enough credit 2 episodes ago, but let's give the guy credit that he fought in September against Monroe, and then about 3 months later, he's back in the ring against the tough David Lemieux. You don't see guys doing that anymore either. Nowadays, if somebody fights 3 times a year, it's like, whoa, 3 times a year? What? Especially in within 3 months of each other. But I hope more people do that often. Now, if you're with the PBC, you can't really do that. You're on the PBC, unless you're on the PBC premium plan, then you might get 2 fights a year. That 2 big fights, man. But other than that, now Top Rank, that's interesting thing with Top Rank. Ooh, Victor Atkinson's on the chat. Shout out to Victor. Don't forget, guys, if you want to join us on the Google Hangouts, contact us at boxingdebate@hotmail.com. You do that by going to Google Hangouts, and you can call us there.
Yeah, don't send us an email. Go on Hangouts.
Yeah, don't send us an email. You go to Hangouts, you write a message you call the email address, and that's how you do it. Hold on a second here. I want to talk to Victor. But yeah, what was I saying about Billy Joe Saunders? Yeah. So now that Top Rank has that deal with ESPN, Bob Arum is saying, now we can get our fighters the fights we want without having to haggle with HBO over available dates. So that means that we might be able to see Lomachenko fight 3 times a year again. If he was at HBO, we wouldn't be seeing that.
That's a good point. Never thought about that.
All right, you talk about that, Bucho, while I invite some other people here.
Talk about what? What were we talking about?
About the schedules nowadays. Nobody really fights 3 times a year.
Yeah, it used to be the norm. Three times a year. Now it's like once or twice. Especially with the PBC. I don't want to start talking about the PBC.
No.
People who know me know what my stance is with the PBC.
Mm-hmm.
It's a piece of shit. I'm looking at the chat because I saw another topic besides fucking Klitschko
All right.
that I wanted to talk about.
We got plenty of things to talk about, and we got a lot more to talk about because we just got another person on the panel. We got Victor Atkinson. Victor, how are you, man?
Was good, yo. I'm alright.
Oh, all right. I gotta ask, man. New Year's. Did you?
Yeah.
It seems like you made it out alive, man.
Yeah, we all did, thankfully.
Can't believe, man. 2018 already. My goodness gracious. All right. Now, Victor, I wanted to ask you, man. We got... I don't know. Are you even interested in the Juarez fight today? Cesar Juarez?
Oh, no, I forgot that was even a thing, actually.
I'm telling you, man. If you're free tonight, watch that fight, man. It might turn out to be an entertaining fight. It might be candidate of the year early on, man.
I probably will, actually, since I don't have anything else going on at that time, so boxing's my favorite thing, so...
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I gotta ask you guys as well now that we got a lot more people here. I'm hearing, and I don't know, I saw it on Precise Puncher's channel, that there were talks of Anthony Joshua taking on Joseph Parker, but now they're talking about Joshua versus Pulev again. Is that true?
That's the thing if Parker doesn't actually take the fight against Joshua, because Pulev is the Mando, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So if Parker just doesn't take the fight, then that is the option, but the priority goes to Parker.
And is it looking like the fight's gonna happen, or are they stalling right now?
I mean, Parker's still trying to get more money, it seems like, but it's dumb since this is still like his biggest payday and it's the most money he can make anywhere else. Like, there's nothing bigger for him. So he's just going to take the 30%, because 30% is more than his market value, really. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, man.
But they keep lowering he asked for 30. No, before he asked for 50, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, that was starting price, and then now it went all the way down to 30. I don't know, man. He's
trying to get 35. They're offering him 30. He's like, no, I'll do it for 35. Like, motherfucker, just take the 5%.
Yeah, but then if you're Joseph Parker, and let's say you don't fight Joshua, and you get another fight and you knock out somebody in impressive fashion, you kind of like can go back to the negotiating table and ask for 35 or 40. I don't know. No, not 40, but 35. Like, because let's be honest, Parker has been impressive in his last two fights.
Yeah,
boring decisions. So he doesn't look like a monster. So
it's not even just that. It's just that he doesn't bring in the tickets to warrant 35 even. Like, 30 is, again, like above his market value. 30 is fucking great. You just take that shit. Like, there's nothing he could even do to warrant more than 30 unless he just somehow unless he goes out and beats Wilder and then like makes himself to be the clear number 2.
He's trying to cash out. It's all. This is the biggest. This is as good as it's gonna get for him.
How old is the
he's
guy?
definitely trying that.
This is as good as. I'm not saying he's done, but I'm saying that this is the biggest payday he's ever gonna get. That's it.
Exactly. But like, my whole thing with that is, that's true, but 30 is still the biggest payday he's ever going to get. So what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
It's 5%, bro. Just take it. 5% is good. 30% is good money for you right now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he should just take it. I mean, and then like he's not even like he's asking for 40. He's asking for like 5% and more. It's like, come on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's fucking 5%. Just take it.
But that's, the fighters are gonna haggle over
The thing
that.
is, he's got a belt, so he has a little bit of
bargaining power. Yeah.
Yeah, that is how he gets 30 in the first place.
It's true. No, it's true.
Yeah, but he knows that Joshua wants all the belts, so it's.
Oh, you're right.
There's only 2 other guys that he can fight, so he may get 5%. But if it comes down to it soon enough, then
this is exactly why motherfuckers get lowballed and like start off with like 10% of shit. This is exactly why that happens.
32.5.
I don't know. I think people have read the Art of the Deal a little too often. They all think they're master negotiators. Just go listen. He's not gonna get like Atkinson said. He's not gonna get a better money fight than Joshua. Even if Tyson Fury were to come back, or if he got a fight against what's the other guy from Australia, Lucas Brown or whatever, because they're both from the same continent. Even that's not gonna make that much money. So take the 30%, man.
Yo, have y'all talked about the Bivol and Barrera situation?
No, what happened?
it's already happening, right? They got a date set for it.
Well, yeah, but Barrera is saying that since Bivol hasn't agreed to the Nevada testing yet, that he might not take the fight. They're saying that it's still on, but that's Barrera's decision. If he doesn't want to take the fight, then he's not going to take the fight. because of the
What?
VADA shit.
What?
Yeah, but the thing is,
Here we go.
dumb though, because the WBA already issued a statement saying they're doing like the fair boxing program, which is basically the WC shit, where if you're in the top 15 or a title holder, that you have to do VADA year round, I want to say. If
Okay.
it's not year round, it's like before every fight. So Bivol should already be signed up for that, but he's not.
Sounds like something sketchy is going on, which surprises me because you never see any sketchy shit on regarding boxing. It's always all clean. Let me tell you something. First of all, shout out to Precise and to Red Fox. They're in the chat room. And speaking of Precise, like he said a couple of episodes ago, this whole testing for illegal substances, it's really, they're ahead of the game when it comes to fabricating new substances. Now, year-round testing, it's better than nothing. But I don't know why now they're haggling over this. I mean, whether he yeah.
The way the testing works, yeah, year round. Okay, there are like designer, or there's a rumor going around that there are like designer drugs that you can do that like you can't test for. You show up clean on them, but even for those, it's harder to get that shit done if you're doing year round, because like the random tests and shit like that. You can you can just like skip out on the test even if they're random like that, but it's a little bit harder. If you know the exact date is coming, then it becomes a matter of like knowing when to cycle on and off and having a good guy on your team to educate you on that subject.
Right.
It's a big deal.
Now I gotta ask you this though, like you said, designer drugs. If you get a good guy like Memo Heredia, he can juice you up to the gills and make sure that you avoid getting detected. Now, did you hear that story that Joe Rogan told on his podcast a couple of months ago regarding John Jones?
I did not. Tell me.
Okay, well, supposedly John Jones was about to be, and he heard this from somebody else, but that John Jones was going to be tested, randomly tested, and they showed up to the gym.
He hid under some shit for like.
He hid under the octagon,
hours.
I think.
Yeah, that whole thing is silly because that's not actually the smart way to get out of testing at all. I mean, it's such an absurd rumor that I think it has to be true. Like, it's one of those things that you just don't lie about because it's not like a believable lie, It's like, it's so unbelievable that it has to have happened. It's funny how that works. But the way to skip out on that type of test is like, you just tell them where you're going to be, because that's how the VADA thing works, and then you're not there. That's it. You don't like hide into a different location. And once that happens, what happens is that they just like mark you as not being available for that test, and then you just say like, oh, I was wrong about where I was going to be, like some bullshit like that, and you get like I think 2 or 3 tries before they take some kind of action against you. But one time, that's fine. You can just skip out on that shit. Like, there's a bunch of loopholes around the testing, even for VADA.
Okay, now
especially for USADA at that.
Oh yeah, USADA, forget about it. What happens if you're cornered? Let's say they find out where you are and you're in a restaurant and you go to the bathroom to hide and to try to get out to the window, but there's no windows. It's a windowless bathroom. Would it be stupid to cut your cock, like a little cut on the cock, and can say, ah shit, I'm injured. I can't pee right now, sorry.
I mean, hey, that's an avenue to take. I don't think anybody would have thought of that shit.
But it would work, maybe. Probably, right?
It probably would work.
All right, fantastic then. Because if you punch a guy from VADA, that's over. It's over, right?
I imagine so.
I imagine so. Yeah. So now Barrera, you said, is
I find it funny that like we always treat them like some fucking like secret agents that like randomly pop up out of nowhere too. Like, if they show up at a restaurant you're eating at.
You gotta think about these things, man. I could be hired as a consultant for these fighters. Like, if they need some excuses or some dirty tactics, that's what Mr. BDA is here for.
Nice.
So you're saying that Barrera is raising a ruckus now regarding the testing?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people are like on forums, I've noticed, they're like criticizing Barrera for some reason. Like, Barrera is actually making a legitimate point here. It's not fair if he has to do VADA testing and Bivol doesn't, which appears to be the case if Bivol doesn't sign up for it. So I'd be pretty upset with that shit. So it's a valid argument.
And it wouldn't be the first fight that a Barrera fight falls through, right? Like a potential fight.
Yeah. That's why they're blaming him. They're like, oh, this is Barrera's fault. Like, it's not really Barrera's fault. He's asking for something that should already be done. This pretty fucking normal.
has Barrera been testing, or has he been on the program for VADA or something like that?
Yeah, he mentioned that he was like, I'm on VADA, and I think they proved it at some point. I didn't bother looking.
But is it year-round
that he
testing?
did. As far as I know, I actually don't even know. I know that he's doing it for this fight,
Okay.
and he signed up for it.
Because let's
But
face
really,
it.
it seems like the reason that Bivol hasn't signed up for it is because of the Russian holiday. That before the 7th, they're like, it's a public holiday. Before January the 7th, they're just not doing shit at all.
Mhm.
But it doesn't really answer why he hasn't been doing it prior to now, because he's a champion, and like I said, the WBA has that shit where if you're top 15,
Right,
that you have
right.
to do VADA. So, but the sanctioning bodies, you know this, they break all the rules all the time, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this whole sport, man. But if Barrera Bivol doesn't happen, that would be a shame. But again,
Yeah.
if Barrera is doing some sort of testing and it's not even year-round testing, then come on, chances are that he's probably on something himself.
Yeah, like I said, you just like cycle off that shit. You just know when to not do it.
Now, what are people saying in the chat room? Luis Catorce says, "Cut your cock with a box cutter, for God's sakes." Yeah, I mean, it's not the best idea, but it's an idea. He says, "I'd rather have a moil. Thank you very much." Hey, man, didn't I read that a moil recently he botched a circumcision or something like that, and
Oh my.
yes, I cringed when I read that story. And for any Jews out there, make sure that your moil isn't drunk. All right, if he shows up smelling like alcohol, chances are you're gonna have a cockless kid. Precise Puncher said, "No need for your racist bigotry, Shaka. Take that shit to them racist." Who's Shaka, by the way? Oh, Shaka Pierre says, "Barrera leery of that all Russian magic." Russian magic. I guess the Cubans were never juicing, right?
Everybody juices.
Everybody, man. That's the thing, is people have to remember, man. It's all out there. It's all available. You can go to Mexico and get yourself some cheap ass. I mean, for a cheap price.
Shit, you don't have to go all the way to Mexico, man.
But isn't it less expensive over there?
I
They
mean,
say it's in the meat, but who the
some
fuck
shit.
knows, man? Playing booty roll.
Ah,
I remember the
yes.
soccer players from the Mexican team. Some of them tested positive in 2009, but I mean, it can be a fucking
Yeah.
excuse, man.
they blamed it on the food. They always say that, like they being like everyone that tests positive for anything. They're like, yeah, it was tainted supplements.
I forget which documentary, what it was called. It's a pretty famous documentary about it's like a former bodybuilder, and him and his brothers were all juiced. So he's making a documentary about PEDs, and they're talking to Carl Lewis at some point. Carl Lewis, who was the Olympic gold medalist in the 88 Olympics, and he, prior to the Olympics, he had tested positive for something. But then there were some shenanigans with the American Association, and they overturned the positive result. So they're asking him, they're saying, "Okay, you tested positive prior to the Olympics, like in the build-up to the Olympics." And he goes, yeah, I did. And they go, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "Well, what happened was," and it's all there in the documents, "I took some tea, some herbal tea, and that's what triggered the positive result." I'm thinking, come on, herbal tea triggered a positive. I mean, Victor, is that possible?
Depending on how like sophisticated their test is, actually, because you can get like trace supplements of some shit or trace elements of something. Like they pick up picograms, so it's possible, but it's highly unlikely. Anytime someone says they get like a false positive from supplements or tea or anything like that, they're usually lying.
Yeah, because I remember you pointed that out at some point where they're, what was it called, qualitative and quantitative.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so if you're, it depends on the substance, right? If there's a certain no matter what quantity,
right? For qualitative bands, that is like for steroids or anabolic steroids, those are all qualitative. If you have any trace amount of that at all, you're just instantly banned. That's what ostarine is. This is SARM, which is a selective androgen. I fucked that word up entirely. Receptive modulator. Basically, testosterone, that type of shit, steroids, you're looking at qualitative. Everything else, you're looking at quantitative, meaning you can have a certain amount of it. That's what like meldonium falls under.
So it's very possible then that but that's the thing. Let's say Carl Lewis did test positive because of T. If it would have been quantitative, they would have said, "Oh, okay, it's just a couple of and that's
They
okay."
probably wouldn't even disclosed it.
But the fact that they actually were thinking of, I think they were thinking of taking actions against him, means that it was significant at some point. That's the thing. I gotta ask you a personal question. Have you ever taken something?
Nah, I never
No.
had a reason to. I'm sure, like, if you checked into everything I did and you gave me a like VADA test, I'd probably like test positive for some shit just from eating like I don't know something that I shouldn't have eaten, or
Hey,
eat
by
like
the way-
medication or something like that. Because I have a bunch of banned substances, but
Yeah, that's true.
nothing steroids, you know.
The reason I'm asking, not in terms of when you were boxing, but just in everyday life. Like maybe you wanted some fast gains or something, and you decided.
Oh yeah, nah, man.
Because I was thinking, man, listen, if you're not a competitor, yeah, why not? I have no problem with that. But
Yeah,
if
well, the
it's-
thing is, a lot of times for that, you actually don't need that shit. I think steroids or just any type of performance enhancing thing, it should be used when you're already at a point where you need it. Like you need that to maximize your gains. If you're just a guy, you don't need that shit at all. Just work out yourself, and you're not going to get as much of a benefit from it. Because like when you're not when you're not used to training hard, that's when your gains improve the most.
Right.
And those are usually people that like want those quick gains. So you don't really need anything at that point. Yeah, not all PEDs are roids. It's performance enhancing. They're not all steroids.
Now, have you heard
Responding to Red Fox on the chat.
right, folks? Not all PEDs are. Yeah, exactly. Some. I mean, we're talking about what's it? EPO as well. It's not a steroid, but it does enhance your performance.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you because somebody told me that nowadays they're up. They're pretty big for even for non-athletes on that testosterone replacement therapy.
Yeah, TRT.
And somebody said that there's doctors out there that are prescribing it instead of, I mean, but not like some people go in and they say, "Oh, doc, I'm depressed," and instead of giving them some pharmaceuticals, they actually, I mean, some antidepressants, they actually give them testosterone replacement therapy. And
Yeah,
they
no, that
say
helps sometimes.
the mood increases. So, would you ever be willing to try some of that shit? I mean, like, I know you're in your 20s now, but once you hit 40, is that something?
Yeah,
you'd be
like
consider-
if I needed it, or like if I was like depressed or just had some type of need for it, then yeah, definitely. Because I mean, it would work. So let's go ahead and try that. Just anything that works for you, man.
Because if it is some sort of if it does extend your youth, fuck, why not, man? I mean, you want to be a 40-year-old and walking up the stairs with a cane? Nah, not BDA, man. I think I'm gonna look into that. Let's see what people are saying in the chat room. Bucho says we're all eating GMOs. Well, come on. We got no choice really, unless you go organic. And who has the money to be buying organic all the time?
Yeah.
Unless you start growing your vegetables. If you start growing your own shit, your own vegetables, and your own chicken farm or something, all right.
It's gonna be illegal soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be illegal, man. Lowplace is in the chat room. Shout out to Lowplace. He says, "I pump hella test in me." Fuck that. I don't know what that means. I can't understand that sentence. Reese Mack says, "If you're in your 20s, you don't really need the roids." Absolutely, man. I mean, you take a look in the UFC when they had Vitor Belfort.
Be right
Freaking
back.
guy was a monster, and he didn't really need to be on that TRT, but he was on it anyway. And he was destroying people, and then all of a sudden they cut him off. Whoop, he looks average again. Fight Facts UK says it's called GoFundMe. I don't know what they're talking about. Don't forget blood doping. Oh, we haven't. Nicola Ferrari says steroids are only a very little part of the PEDs around. That's okay. Now, Victor, what are some? Because all I know about non-roids is EPO, but what else is there that could give you a boost for performance or for stamina or for something like that?
Let's see. SARMs technically aren't steroids, but SARMs, they don't give you that big of a benefit. They're actually pretty useless. That's what Ostarine is a SARM. Is not something that you actually use at any level, any professional level, I should say. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other things that you would definitely use. I haven't been researching this as much as I'm supposed to.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, man. I gotta tell you.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Well, I mean, you can
See.
say I'm sorry all you want, but that doesn't excuse the fact that you came here unprepared. No, I'm kidding, obviously. But listen, people in the chat room are saying microdosing. Does that even work with PEDs?
Yeah.
Microdosing works.
Mhm.
Wow, I didn't know that. But to what extent?
I mean, they're like smaller gains, but they are gains. Also, the way you're supposed to do them for like combat sports in particular, you're supposed to cycle off of them by the time you actually have your match. Like cycled off of them by like weeks, I want to say. I think like 5 weeks or something like that. I forgot what those numbers actually were, but the idea is that when you're actually on them, you're stiff. You're very, very stiff.
Oh, that
Once you
happens to me
cycle
all the
off
time,
of-
man.
Right. Once you cycle off of them, you still retain a lot of the benefits, but you don't have that stiffness. You're a little more loose fluid in your movements.
Man, it's amazing how these freaking people figure this shit out, man.
Yeah. If you watch Victor Conte's interview on the Joe Rogan podcast, he explains a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, I've
Not
seen
in
that.
like great detail, but
Foul Boxing says the human body was designed to heal. Don't mess with billions of years of evolution. That's a good point right there. But then again, at one point you gotta wonder. This is all coming out now synthetically and everything. Is this gonna be part of human evolution now? I mean, is this something that? I mean, is it gonna be detrimental to humanity in the long run? I don't know. Red Fox says, Precise Puncher says he microdoses on LSD, and Red Fox says LSD is a psychedelic. Nicola Ferrari says, I do too, Precise, I love it. But then Precise says, not in microdoses. Jesus Christ. BDA, Cover Up says, BDA, tase Victor's ass for being unprepared. If he's unprepared, I'm supposed to punish him, not reward him. Stupid Covert. He doesn't understand how things works. Covert things that people don't enjoy. I mean, that people hate being tased. Victor, on the other hand, well, we established in the last episode, he's into some weird fucking shit. King Butcher says
the best episode we've ever had.
It has to be right up there with what was it called? The Harvey
Adonis
Weinstein.
Stevenson curse.
Yeah, the curse and
The
Harvey
Adonis
Weinstein's
Stevenson
talk about his sexual escapades. Luis Catorce says Viagra helps with oxygen and blood flow during exercise. Is that true, Victor?
It does, but not to like a great extent.
Butcher is telling me, Butcher, why are you telling me to move on from the roids? People seem to be interested in that shit, man. Butcher, you there? Jesus Christ. He tells me,
sorry. I said I feel like it's dragging a bit.
you feel like it's dragging, and yet everybody's talking about it in the chat room.
I was still talking. No, I was talking about LSD and microdose.
That's a spiritual enhancer, if you ask me. Microdosing helps.
Peyote,
Was that?
DMT,
Oh, DMT.
peyote, DMT.
You ever try any
Oh
of
yes.
that?
I haven't. I'm actually going to this year though with a friend of mine.
The DMT or the ayahuasca?
The DMT. See, we have a plan. Both of us are going to trip
You know
together.
what?
that we're
Actually,
gonna
hold on. Maybe you shouldn't say that on the air, man. You never know who's listening, because technically it's not allowed by the law. So I don't. I mean, it's up to you if you want.
Oh yeah, good point. Good point.
I mean,
Good
I don't
man.
know. That's just the Mexican part of me being paranoid. But yeah, microdosing on LSD does help, man. People have written about the not the gains, but the beneficial aspects of microdosing on LSD. And this, by the way, this type of research goes back to the 60s. And they knew that LSD was good to treat depression in alcoholics. So, I mean, I don't know why it's taking so long to legalize this type of stuff. But anyway, that's a discussion for another episode, I assume. King Bucho certainly doesn't think it's interesting. And Ray says, boxing debate, not a drug chat. Well, Ray, you're the one that's on the fucking... You want to add something here about boxing, or...
No, I'll just letting y'all get it out. I don't have anything to say about all this.
All right, so let's move on to boxing then. I got a list here of subjects. Okay. We have some very interesting fights lined up for 2018 already. Maybe not the biggest fights ever, but certainly
Got a
fights.
bunch of shit I'm excited about. These fucking tournaments, man. I'm very excited for this.
Which tournament?
Dude, the super middleweight and the cruiserweight tournament. Dorticos
Oh, yes,
versus
yes.
Gasyev. What?
That's gonna be a great fight. Now let me check. Or do you know when that one is? Or
I want to say that one's in January because Usyk's in February. I might have that mixed up. Let me check for you, actually. No, Usyk's in January, so that fight has to be in February.
yeah, I'm check. Yeah, it's
Gasyev should be like February the 3rd.
My goodness, yeah, that's a lot of people are excited about that. You know who's a boxing fan when they talk about this fight because it is going to be an exciting one. Dorticos, who I think might be the dark horse in this tournament. I don't know what you guys think.
No, he is. The thing about Dorticos, though, is that I feel like a lot of times he gets by on his speed because a lot of guys are cruiserweight. They're kind of slow. I mean, look at Kurtriasov. He's slow as shit, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But Dorticos isn't slow, and he has a lot of power, so he's able to catch you with things. But he has a lot of just defensive lapses, I'll say that, and he can definitely get caught by things. I'm more interested in Usyk versus Dorticos than Gasyev versus Dorticos, but I don't think we're going to see that fight. We could, though. I don't know that power, so.
All right, so who wins then, Dorticos or Gasyev?
I'm picking Gasyev to win that fight, but my whole thing with this is I think they both lose to Usyk. I think Dorticos gives Usyk a tougher match than Gasyev does.
Okay, well, now here's the thing, though. Now that you mentioned Usyk and you pick him to... I assume you're picking him to win the whole thing then, right?
I am. Unless he has like a shaky chin and we just haven't seen that shit, I'm picking him to win.
Because what happened against Michael Hunter? I remember that was a very close... I mean, not a close fight, but it was a competitive fight. And
yeah, okay, so I saw that fight live, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Because that fight happened in Maryland, I want to say. It's like in the DMV. It's like one of those fucking like border shits. I don't know exactly where I was.
It says here that it happened in Oxon Hill. What? MGM National Harbor. Where the hell is that?
No, that's the MGM National. Yeah, it's a good one, actually. It's just set up just like the one in Vegas, only they don't have like strippers on the poker tables and shit. Have you been to those yet?
No.
Dog, I went there on a fucking like... I think at the time I was there, I think it was like fucking... I was there for a couple of days. Day one was like Wednesday night. I don't know why it's that day, but Wednesday night, strippers on the fucking poker table with no one there. I was like, the fuck is this shit?
At MGM?
Yeah, bro, attractive ones at
They have
that.
dancers downtown, but I never seen anybody on the strip dancing.
Dog, on the fucking poker tables. Like, the fuck is this on Wednesday?
I'm gonna be Mr. BDA Literal. This is my new character, BDA Literal, and I'm gonna ask, does having women stripping on the poker tables, doesn't that distract you from the poker games?
I think that's the plan.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's a freaking good plan then.
Yeah. Just the same way they apparently give you like free drinks if you gamble.
Oh, free steaks.
The more you drink drinks.
Or
liquor.
they give you free steaks, right? Too.
Sure,
no, I'm not kidding.
Sure.
I think they give you a complimentary meal or something. Like, hey, you want some steak and potatoes? But then you get.
See, I didn't even get that shit. Motherfuckers did not tell me about that until after we left. I was like, oh, fucking hate you. I would have gambled just for the fuck of it, just for the liquor.
You know what?
But anyway,
I'm starting to get the feeling that you're a bit of a gambler. You like to, in every aspect of your life. You like the danger. You like to gamble, and you like to throw yourself out there and see what happens.
I only gamble when I'm willing to lose.
Oh, well said. Well said. Let's go back to the chat room and see what people are saying. There's an interesting discussion regarding the cruiserweights. Precise Puncher says Thomas was winning, and yet he quit.
Oh yeah, the Hunter fight. We were talking about that. So my whole thing with that is, I think what happened is that Hunter came in knowing that he had to match Usyk's pace, because Usyk fights at a pretty fucking high pace considering he's a cruiserweight, And after like the fourth round, I think he just burned out.
Yes.
Trying to do that shit. And Usyk can maintain that for 12 rounds. Hunter tried and just could not, and it ended up the way it was.
Very good point, because people in the chat room are saying that he quit. I didn't see that, man.
He did not quit. He did not fucking quit. When you get knocked around like that and you're just not even looking for a way out, you're not quitting. That's your body failing you and you trying to keep you in the fucking fight. You did not quit, though.
Yeah, I think he had what do they call it? An adrenaline dump. I think he just burned out in the first 4 rounds and he was done after that, man. Oh yes, don't forget to like and subscribe to the stream. That sounded very organic. But anyway, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's go back to the Hunter versus Usyk fight. Yeah, that was a fight like Victor said. I don't think that Hunter quit in that fight. Lowplace is saying that Dorticos kills Gasyev and gets outboxed by Usyk. End of story. And then Precise says, "You want to bet, Lowplace? Ooh, we got a little bet here." Red Fox says Lebedev gave him some problems.
He did.
And Falpo says he has Gasyev because he believes Lebedev is legit. Lebedev is legit, or should I say was, because isn't he like in his late 30s now?
He is, but I mean, honestly, like it seems like the bigger guys have a higher shelf life than anyone else, and we're talking cruiserweights. I don't think it's really. He's clearly past his physical prime, but not to a point where I call him shot or anything like that. So it's a respectable win.
Oh yeah, it's a very good win, especially since it was a stoppage win, right? That's.
No, the Lebedev fight went to decision.
Oh fuck! I thought it was a stoppage. Forget what I said.
No, split decision at that.
See that doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me. No, wait a minute. Which fight are we talking about here?
Lebedev versus Gasyev is what I'm talking about right now.
Let me check the result. I assumed he lost by stoppage, Lebedev.
No,
you're right.
No, decision.
Split decision. But anyway, whether it was a stoppage or not, like you said, Lebedev is a veteran, and I was gonna say he beat Roy Jones and James Toney, but come on, those guys were done by that point. But yeah, Lebedev, he's fought some good guys, man, and he's beaten some good guys. So the Precise Puncher is saying to Lowplace that he wants a bet, and Lowplace says that this is the YouTube boxing community, not a casino, so he's not willing to. But listen, to Precise and Lowplace, let's forget about betting money. You can bet something that's not money. You can bet. I don't know. How about what could they bet, man? Bucho, help me out here.
Their souls.
Their souls. You hear that silence? You hear that silence? That's the silence of what the fuck are you talking about? Give us some realies. I'm asking for some serious suggestions here, man. Come on.
Oh, I have one. Okay, so the loser has to praise the winner on their YouTube channel. Both of you guys have a channel.
Lowplace has a channel, and well, both of them actually. Precise Puncher and
Lowplace.
Yeah. I'm saying like they both have channels, so like the loser has to praise the winner on their next video.
That sounds like a sensational
Man, you always
idea.
have good ideas, man.
Yeah, Victor always comes up with some, except when it comes to being electrocuted and everything. But other than that, yeah, man, pretty.
Because at some point, because some people wanted Lowplace out, remember?
Yeah.
Like never to be on the show. So then Victor goes like, "Oh, you should do like a Survivor thing where like you make people vote." And then
It was a great fucking idea too.
Yeah. Wow.
When was that? I don't remember.
Hey, that's a good bet, man. Like the winner has to. The loser goes on his channel, and like, what would he say though? Like,
well, he has to.
You already messed up.
yeah, I know. No, the loser goes on his own channel, right?
You're fucking it up, man. Yeah.
All right.
It sounds like a perfect idea, man. All right, is Lowplace?
I mean, the guys, it doesn't seem like he can beat Dorticos. He struggled like hell with a smaller Lebedev that was not going to his body, repeatedly look, he hit him to the body, and it looked like he gave the man problems to the body, and then he stopped going to the body of Gasyev. That's what you need to do if you're going to fight him on the inside. If you're able to throw all of these punches, they both had a high work rate. I would say Lebedev seemed to be a little higher just from memory. If you're able to throw all these punches, sink some down to the body at times. You're just hitting them in the head or on the guard repeatedly. I'm like, no. A better fight is going to beat a guy that's just walking you down like that. And he got hit a lot versus Thomas. What's the guy's name?
Mike
the guy
Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, Isaiah
Thomas. I was about to call him Thomas. Yeah, Isaiah Thomas hit him a lot with the left hand. And
a whole lot. It worried me, but also I think that's more of a southpaw problem than anything else, which is kind of a shame since it was
maybe
huge.
It's a reach problem.
That's possible too. I don't think that though. It seemed like a southpaw problem. Like he could not defend against a straight left at all. It was disappointing. But that's why I also think Usyk is going to beat him much worse than he would beat Dorticos.
But you think about it, the left jab, that equates, if you're thinking of the southpaw, the left jab of Dorticos, who has a real left jab. It's a punishing jab. Every shot he throws is punishing.
Oh man, you Bucks, you know that's entirely
No,
different.
no.
Get the fuck out of here with that
When you
shit.
have
No, I'm
problems,
done already. I am done already.
no, I'll be honest with myself. When you have problems from one side, that's where it can come from that period. Some people can be different, but when you are lined up and that's where you having problems getting away from, it's gonna be the same situation. Like Floyd Mayweather, he has trouble with the lead jab, and sometimes he has trouble with the straight left. Lead jab of an orthodox fighter, then he has trouble with the straight left of a southpaw fighter. I think that matters with some fighters, especially depending on what defensive stance you use. And Dorticos is normally he's pretty high with both hands. He's solid, man. I just don't trust him versus Usyk because Usyk is just something else. Other than that, he's running through anybody in the tournament.
All right, first of all, we got Lowplace on the line, and Lowplace, it's 2018, man. You gotta make some sort of a change this year, and you gotta come in, and when you come in, you gotta say, "Hey, everybody, how's it going, guys?" You know, like try to be more. You gotta do it, man. It's 2018.
I can't do that, man. That's like I don't have a better word, so I'm just gonna say I feel gay. It just does, man.
No, okay.
Yeah, just to be like, hey,
I made it sound. I made it sound extra gay for comedic purposes, but you don't have to come in and say, "Hey."
No, you don't have to.
He wants you to just show like, "Hi guys, how are you?" I can't
Hello,
even do
boys.
the fucking voice. Yeah,
Like, what the fuck? No, you don't have to do that shit, man.
Hi,
Yeah,
sailors.
greetings.
Also, when you leave, he wants you to like, "Bye, everyone." Fucking
Play a soundbite. I play a soundbite. Yeah, they call me insecure all they want, man. That shit just feel fucking.
Next thing
Don't
we
give
know,
me a hug.
next
Don't
thing we
hug
know,
me. Don't.
next thing we know, we're gonna see Lowplace sparring with a tutu on, like Miguel Cotto used to do.
Oh
Facts.
shit! No, I'm good on that one. I'm
Hey,
good
maybe
on
you
that.
and Miguel Cotto's son can get together and go to a rave or something. I don't know. All right,
I don't
so
know how old's the daughter though. How old is the daughter though? How old's the wife? Fuck the daughter. How old is the wife?
yeah, I'm. Why did you go to the daughter first? That's kind of creepy, man.
That shit. I think she grown now. Well, I think
I
she
don't know.
big anyways, ain't she? I can't
Yeah.
remember. Look, that was the wife. The wife got some things you can eat off of.
Bucho doesn't.
Shit.
Bucho, what do you think about Cotto's wife? Is that?
I thought
No, her face. She's becoming. He has that. You can tell she's getting operations and shit, and she's starting to get that skeletal-looking nose, like Michael Jackson nose. And I don't know. It's kind of creepy, man.
the only one that scared me is fucking Amir Khan's wife. She was so pretty at first, and then she did some shit. I don't know what the hell that woman's problem was, but Miguel's cool. I could get it.
Lara's wife. That's how when you think boxing wise, Lenara's wife, and that's just that on that. You're done.
I don't actually know what either one of them looks like.
Well, let's look it up. Let's look it up right now.
I find it funny that we always come back to this.
Well, what else is there? Boxing?
Cotto's wife looks like a tranny.
Read the comment read Hambi's comment regarding Cotto's son.
Cotto's son is his daughter. That one.
Oh,
Damn, Lara got that motherfucker boy.
okay. I never
Lara
knew. I'd never
He's
seen
stacked.
Linares' wife, and I gotta tell you, let me put it up here.
Linares' wife.
Linares' wife, yeah. Lara's wife, she's not all that, man. It depends.
Man,
If
you
Lopez,
see all that ass? You see all that ass?
that's the thing. You like him thick. I mean,
I like him any way you can get him as long as my mind says right, I can ride. Look at Lara's wife can get it.
Oh, Jeff Horn's wife.
that's
Jeff Horn's wife.
oh come on. Let's not go there. Another part of my New Year's resolution is to be nice, not to
Yeah,
be
Jeff Horn's
unnecessarily cruel. So, even though I just told you indirectly that I am cruel, so fuck.
I
Alright.
say this: if Jeff Horn win 2 more belts, he probably getting an upgrade. Let's just say that.
I don't think so, because when you get a guy like that who gets a wife like that, I don't think I think he's you know what I mean? I think his mentality, he doesn't have the mentality of upgrading.
He was teaching school. He was teaching school.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Look. I'm gonna think with a penis because I know anybody that has a penis thinks with a penis.
Mhm.
That man gets 2 more belts. She got to start liking the position she in, accepting that it's gonna be some honeys around the house. If she don't want to accept it, she gonna be gone. That's how it works, man. That's how it works.
I agree.
Wait, are they actually married right now?
Yeah, like high school sweethearts, baby mama and shit.
Oh, he don't know. He fucked up already then.
Yeah, exactly. Victor, tell people why he fucked up.
She's gonna get half of everything.
Oof, that hurts more than any left hand that Terence Crawford could hit him with, man. That is going to
What
be.
about over there in Australia? Did they take half over there? If they, I mean, maybe they hard on the hoes over there in Australia.
Maybe.
Maybe they like fuck them hoes. They throw them down under. That's just some shit over here, maybe.
Actually, from what I've read, nah. I think Australia's pretty liberal, if you know what I'm saying.
Fuck.
So I
Well.
think he's getting. Now here's my question, guys. Before we move on, because I don't. People are pretty fast. They're gonna tell us to move on.
What about Tim Bradley's wife?
I was wondering when that was going to come up. She made that man a millionaire. That's all I have to say about that shit.
You think so?
I
No,
don't
really.
think
Like
so.
she actually negotiated much better deals for him than he was previously getting.
Barrera had to pay him. Barrera had to pay him. It was like, who was Manny Pacquiao gonna keep fighting? Shit, they had to pay him. Anybody could have done that.
Yeah,
Bradley,
no, I don't give credit to her.
she was a pawn. He was a pawn. Bradley was a top-ranked pawn for the most of his career welterweight.
Precise
do you
Puncher
mean?
says Crawford's wife is hot.
It's a joke, man.
I know. That's what I'm repeating. the
I
joke.
didn't know, man. I went fucking Google that shit. Anyways.
Okay, now if you get yourself, here's what you do usually. Smart thing. If you're not a good with the ladies, you try to get yourself the best looking girl you can get. And don't forget, guys, just because let's say you get a 6 or a 7, you can do some aftermarket modifications to improve that number. Right? People think, oh, she's a 6, she's a 7, she's gonna stay that way forever. Nah, man. You can get tied on her and say, listen, I want you to work out a little bit. She goes,
I got you.
I don't like to work out. Okay, you don't like to work out? Well, I don't like to be in a relationship with you. Get the fuck out of here. That's what you gotta do, man. You can't just be content with what you've got. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I wrong here?
Yeah, you gotta put it down hard sometime. But other than that, shit, some of the best things to do is like, yo, even when it gets fit, put like the footage turns from unfit to fit. Still, there's new ones out there that you're gonna want to explore. That's just how it is. I tell my girl, I tell her flat out, look, I can procreate with millions of women at a time. You can only be pregnant with my son or somebody else's. So what's the point of different sexual partners and all this shit? Like, don't be mad at me for cheating. That's what biology says I should do. It's just that on that. Like that, I can pump seeds everywhere. So it's science. Science tells me that I can fuck. That's it.
Did she smack you after you said that? Because I feel like that's the only.
That's what I was gonna ask, man. That's what I was gonna ask.
No. Like, I'll have this conversation. I've said this like to every girl I ever dated, and let her know, just like, yo, don't try to be a man. Quit trying to say, well, why can't I be a man? Cause nobody, you can't be. Stop it. Be who you are. Be accepting of what you are. Appreciate what science says.
If I said that shit to either Kiera or Stephanie, they just would have like smacked the shit out of me and then like been like, "Oh, I'm gonna prove to you how easy this shit is."
Well, now that depends. That goes back to Lowplace's point, which is if a girl answers that way, who's got the problem? Is it her that has a problem, or is it your problem that you're allowing them to talk to you that way?
Yeah, if a girl says some shit like, well, why can't I do what a man does? She's already not the damn girl for you. She's already lost. Like, I want to be able to pop this pussy everywhere and not be judged like you throw that dick everywhere. And no. Just ain't gonna cut it for me. You need to keep that thing to me.
Lowplace has more skills than he found to hold.
I just got. It's like this. If I'm going to go down on you, understand? You have a wound. You have a wound down there. That's a wound. Like, I got to go inside of something and to please you. I guess like it's like going into the dark tunnel or something. I don't know what the fuck is going on. What I have, you can see and you can appreciate the outside. You can speculate what's going on from the out. No, don't play with me. It's a lot different.
Lowplace sounds like a 19th century explorer, talking about caves and jungles and shit. What
Would
the
you
fuck?
rather wash a car with a person with no license, or would you rather let that person with no license drive the damn car? That's what I look at it as. I see that's the penis. You can wash the outside, you can't die. You get in there with a person that don't know how to drive with no license, you might die in that motherfucker. That's how I look at vaginas and penises.
Okay, you lost me on that one. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, well, okay, all right. If a man can't drive, he literally cannot drive. If some fucking woman is blind or something, she can't drive. She has fucking wrecks every time she go out.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't mind washing the car with her, but would you mind getting in the car? See, with a woman, you had to get up in there.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Penis, it's just outside work. Chill out, woman.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. But listen, at the end of the day, you don't want your woman to be too loose, you know what I mean? But you don't want to do it like they do in the Arab countries, like keeping them on a super tight leash and they can't do anything. I mean that.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm getting that.
I want it just like that. Do what I say. Don't know. I mean, I ain't saying this like that, shit. But
Lowplace, instead of like your Adonis Stevenson videos, bro, just teach us how to be a pimp, man.
Yes, that's a good point, man. That's a good point. Stop with the Adonis Stevenson videos and get back to pimping, man.
This is what the people really need, man. We don't need to hear like your views on boxing. You have like more to show to the world. You need to show
I'm not. I never said I'm no great individual role model. I'm gonna be honest though. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Them Arabic countries got it going on, man. Snapping, they do something, and that's the right way, man. But ain't nobody trying to hear no back talk in their life from nobody that can't whoop their ass. Like, you can't. Why are you jumping at me? Like, that would be ridiculous for you to even stand up to me. Sit down. That's the right way of doing things. It just is. They doing it right.
So,
I'm not saying fucking the 14-year-olds and 13-year-olds is cool if they would do. That's not what I'm with. But for the grown women, that's what they do. That's what they do over there. Some of them do that over there.
The best part is that nobody was even going to accuse you of that shit at all. We were just going to let that shit. We didn't even think about that.
They do it over there. They with that, but I'm not with that. I need some. I follow the law. Let's just say I follow the law.
All right, I'm getting the directive. I'm getting that directive from my producer to keep things moving because this is. I would love to. Lowplace, you gotta arrange some sort of this discussion for your channel, and I'll be there to join you on that one, man, for sure.
Somebody said Gasyev. Look, man, I don't know the bet that was coming on, but I'm telling you right now, Gasyev ain't gonna sleep shit. He is getting knocked. His arms are too short. His feet are too slow.
Okay, but what about the
guy punches?
Victor, can you re-explain the bet thing? Because I can't explain it properly.
Yeah, let's go back to the bet.
The loser of the bet has to praise the winner in their next YouTube video.
Well,
it's not that bad. Come on, man.
Yeah, come on.
I won't even have to make the video. I'm already cool. I'm good with that bet. I don't have to make the video. I don't have to do anything. I'm telling you, 4 or 5 inch reach advantage, same height, slower feet, longer arms, crazy punch. Oh, man.
Bro, okay.
Now we gotta get Precise to agree.
Because if boxing was just that, we would all just like measure each fucking other, and you wouldn't have to box at all.
Yeah, I'm looking at them. I'm looking at the criteria altogether, but those two things stand out when I look at the whole of the fight. Some fights it never stands out. In this fight in particular, this stands out. This guy punches straight, keeps you at the end of the punches. He understands range, distance. Gasyev wants to walk in through the thunder. Okay, go ahead. Show me. Prove it. Can't outbox him.
Okay, so is that a yes to the bet or?
That's the easy win. Why not?
Okay, well, Precise agreed, so just a fucking video.
Easy win. But not like I said, he's not winning the tournament. I got one man winning the tournament from the day it started.
Okay, but hold on a second. I haven't heard you said yes or no. You're just saying.
He said yes. Like,
sure. Fuck it. Why not? Fuck it.
All right, perfect.
Fuck it.
All right, we got an agreement, gentlemen. We got an agreement here. We got Lowplace and Precise Puncher in a bet, and the loser has
to be dressed like a drag queen or some shit.
Okay, wait a minute. What?
Nah,
I'm joking, man. What the fuck, man?
That's for Bucio's own entertainment.
My only stipulation is that Precise presenter wear a damn Abel Sanchez mustache on video while he does it. Go get you a fake one.
Mm-hmm.
Tape it on there and bow down, cause you're gonna have to. I mean, you agree to this shit. Like you shouldn't have done this. This is easy work. He is about to be easy work.
Okay,
Wow,
now,
man.
But hold on, Precise. Lowplace set the stipulation, and now Precise has to set up a stipulation of his own. Like if he wants.
It really ain't one. But I'm just fucking around because that's his trainer. But at the end of the day, that's easy money, man. Easy.
So fuck the hand B type. Loser what Kodo? It's gonna show up on that shit now. I look at it. Loser takes Kodo. Okay, good.
Why did he take away his comment? Anyway, loser takes Kodo.
Some people are just
Oh, man.
What the fuck? Did you read that comment?
Yeah, man.
Like the first one, loser takes Kodo. Like, what?
Oh,
Loser
man.
takes Corazon to the prom.
Oh man. That's Han B has already come up with two sensational fucking whatever zingers right there, man. He should come
got
on the
a
show.
question.
Was that?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Everybody laughing at Kodo's son. What if your son came out? Like, what was your response if your son, 13 years old, and find out he'd rather be Michelle instead of Michael?
That wouldn't
What's
happen.
your response to that?
That would
Fucking
happen.
13, nigga. You can't just run around
Yeah,
when you're
nah.
18 and go in and talk
No,
about
no,
that.
no. Okay,
Pumpkin with
let's make it
hormones,
better.
man.
18. Let's make it better. He's 21 and he's still.
Oh, no, at that point, you're a fucking adult, man. Like, I'm
No,
just
no, you can't have it both ways. No.
What you mean? Like, that's my son. I'll be like, okay, fine. If you want to make that decision for yourself,
Okay,
then
at 15.
cool,
At
but-
15.
it's a nigga. Stop changing the age of shit.
You the one. You keep running from it. You keep running from it. You got look.
I'm not running from anything. I say very clearly, you're not a goddamn adult. You're too young to make a decision like that. If any age, the only reason I'm saying that you can even do that at 18 is because like it's legal at that point. I guess I'm not like the authority. Well, I
I'm
am
gonna let
the
him live with his auntie. I'm gonna let him live with his auntie. I'm not even being funny. I'm gonna let him live with his auntie because I don't know how to raise that. I know how to raise something that wanted to be me. So I wish you the best, but I wish you the best. But you got some aunties out here. My dad was fucking, so I know you got some aunties, and they can teach you better than I can because I won't be able to do it.
All right, now listen.
It's just a response. My dad was fucking. Like I don't know about your dad, but my dad got some pussy.
Man, what the fuck?
Listen,
Nobody else answer.
Well, listen. I'm about to answer. If first of all, my son would never do that because I would raise him the proper way. Now, I know some people might be saying, well, you saying there's something wrong with being gay? Absolutely not. I'm saying...
He didn't say being gay. I used to like being straight up like, wait, are we talking about transsexual or just homosexuality?
I
Whatever
don't know.
Kodo's son is.
Okay. Okay.
Covert Operative says that the loser has to have an after dark sparring session with Yusef Mack. Did you hear about Yusef Mack? Okay, first of all, for the people that don't know the context, Yusef Mack, former light heavyweight and I think super middleweight contender as well, he was spotted in a gay porno. And
Hold up. How the fuck they spot that nigga in the gay porno?
don't
Who was
ask
watching
me,
that
man.
shit?
Don't ask me, but somebody on the internet.
See, that's
identified
actually a funny conversation I had with one of my friends earlier. It was like, if somebody was in the gay porno, I feel like you couldn't really make fun of them for that shit because you'd have to admit that you saw the gay porno yourself. Like, how does that really work? Because women don't even watch gay porno. There's only gay guys that watch that shit. So
porn is really a male thing. Women don't get off on porn.
no, they do.
All of them, but the majority or some of them.
Yeah, the majority. I mean, there's always going to be outliers, but the majority of them actually do enjoy porn. They just don't like gay, but they don't want to see two fucking niggas fuck. That's not what they
Now,
like.
what
in
was
general.
crazy? This is how they found out. You know, on Twitter where you can like shit and they can then you can click on what you like recently. It's like he was liking he was liking some shit.
That nigga was liking some dick. That's what that's funny.
Wait, who are we talking
I
about?
saw the images. And then I'm just like,
Oh, you poor guy. See, that's why I don't look at that shit. I don't trust y'all motherfuckers.
no, it's just like you on your timeline. You ain't gotta click it, but you can see like, yo, Yusef.
Oh.
Somebody was like, yo, Yusef, you ain't gotta lie, man. We see it in your likes.
Yeah, that's true,
another
man.
thing. I feel like Pornhub and the websites like that just try to get you caught up because they always have some weird shit up there. Like, click this to like share this on your profile. Like, why the fuck would I want to share that? Like,
All right, guys, people in the chat room are telling us to change the conversation. I mean, listen, I love this type of conversation, but apparently people are expecting boxing and just boxing alone.
Yes,
Now, to these people, I would say, you gotta open up a little bit. You know what I mean? It can't be boxing all the
you
time.
gotta open up that goddamn much.
I tell you, gay people funny, man. I mean, I ain't gonna say I agree. They are fucking.
Go ahead.
They are fucking funny. Gay people will make you fucking laugh, bro. I don't care. You don't have to agree, but you don't have to be near it. You could be sitting on the other side of the restaurant and see some of their behavior and just be like, "Yo, this is some fucking classic shit." Like, I mean, I don't agree or disagree. They can do the fuck they want to do. Don't involve me. I'm fucking bitches.
And by the way, if YouTube comes in here and starts looking at the video, I just want you to know that the views expressed on this podcast are not the views of BDA Boxing and King Bucho. I mean, this is we're talking to our panelists here, and you know, and if they want to say what they want to say, we can't stop them. Can we, Bucho? We can't stop him, right? Again,
shit, man. I don't know. I believe in freedom of speech. So.
Okay, Foul Pole Boxing is calling Victor and Lowplace degenerates. Come on, why is that?
I am. I'm
definitely a degenerate. I don't even know what the fuck. Yeah,
I'm a good one. I'm perfect at it, and I just hope I grow more and more into it. I don't give a damn.
I think you should embrace your chaotic side, really.
Well, okay,
What's
but
that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I have a question. Whoever wins the Cruiserweight tournament, where do we place them in the? Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking about
them?
that myself. I think you have to go with it at the absolute least top 5. I'm going with top 3. It depends on like other things that are happening at that time, but I can't.
Usyk's already.
I'm leaning
I say
towards
top 5.
3.
Top 5, top 3.
Usyk's already in the top 3. He's already top 3.
Oh, yeah, you have him as number 2.
That's just for you, bro. That is.
Yeah.
You see how he stopped Marco Hug? You see how this man just went over to he went over to Milwaukee's home territory, and fuck it, here I am. No stipulations on my side to say I can't fight. He just flat out beat him, and then I was questioning him. I'm like, yo, kind of ran from him a little bit. You the bigger man. But then he got in there with Huck and just beat the fuck out of him. I can't deny that, man. I can't deny that. He topped that, man. Who else is performing?
Now, I have a question, Lowplace.
Yeah.
Did you have Rigon down in your pound for pound list before he lost to Lomachenko?
No, I didn't.
Huh? You did.
No, I didn't.
And I remember you praised Rigon down for beating Donaire, who was a pound for pounder at that time, correct?
Yeah, but I didn't have him in there due to he hadn't won a fight in years, and he's not been in fights with good people, nor is he dominating when he gets in there versus what's the name? He elected to foul the man. I didn't have him in mind. I mean, I wouldn't argue with anybody who did, but I just took him out because he wasn't handling business no more.
Okay, so inactivity affected his rating.
Not just inactivity.
He's trying to trap you.
Not just inactivity.
No, what the hell? It's just questions, man.
Not just inactivity. The fact that when he got in there and he's fouling the dude, and it's like, man, it's your job. It's your job to get in there and win the fight the right way. If you don't, you can be punished for that.
So what would have been the right way to win a fight?
Remember the fight where he got on the card and he went 12 with that? I can't remember with who.
Canelo undercard.
Yeah, that right there was part of my reason to say, look, nah, nope, nope.
Shit.
Too many other people get in there and they whoop that dude ass and they be out there in 3-4 rounds.
Well,
if you're not willing to do it, then I got to take you off the leg. Like I wouldn't argue with nobody who had him on there, but he wasn't on mine.
Okay.
All right.
Because of performances and inactivity.
A little bit of everything. Performance, a little bit of everything. Dominance, all those things.
So okay. Because he did win all the.
Go ahead.
I mean, let's say you have a boxer that doesn't rely on power, so he always goes 12 rounds, but he dominates.
Well, you better at least put some hands on somebody. You better at least put some hands on somebody and make me realize that, you can hit somebody at will, and you could hit them. Rigo was just, man, that shit was ridiculous, man. I know I can't rate that pound for pound.
Okay, I get it. So, like, you were disappointed with Mayweather and Pacquiao, like, because Mayweather didn't. Like Mayweather Pacquiao, like, were you impressed with Mayweather, or because he didn't really put his hands a lot on?
I knew I wasn't going to be impressed with a damn 37-year-old, and I already knew this going into the fight. Like, I knew that. That's why it wasn't a super fight for me. I was pissed with people pushing it up. It's like, yo, he's gonna beat him easy. How he beats everybody else. But Rigondeaux and Mayweather, I don't think they compare in no way, no how. Rigondeaux just don't fucking punch. Period.
Yeah, no, I agree. They were old as fuck. No, I'm just asking questions to like try to understand your criteria. You know.
Somebody said
You're
Pacquiao's pound for pound number one.
No. I know. I'm just because we're talking about Rigondeaux and like how you were disappointed with his performances, and now then I was. Anyways, that's pretty much it.
Bucho, why are you trying to get us into this pound for pound discussion?
No,
You
I'm just
know
trying
how
to
that goes.
understand Lowplace, how his criteria. Like we all have our own criteria, and
First of all, I don't like how you make
Let's be-
Lowplace sound like he's some sort of subject that you have to analyze like you're some sort of scientist, man. All right, that's denigrating Lowplace, and I gotta tell you something.
oh please,
I don't like it.
it's not denigrating anyone.
Yeah, I gotta head out, guys. I'll see y'all next time.
All right, man.
All right, Ray, thanks for joining us. And Victor, I understand you gotta go as well.
I think he already went.
Oh, he already went. See, now, Lowplace, you're setting a bad example, man. People are leaving without saying goodbye. Now, Ray was good enough to say
You don't need to say goodbye, man, because then you interrupt the show.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
He's like,
Yeah,
hey
I
guys, stop what you're saying, and I'm out. It's like, okay.
That's true.
Look, I can't do the greetings and what's the opposite of greeting? I guess. Shit, I don't know. Greeting. What's the opposite of greeting? See, I stumped the panel.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck.
No, hold on. I know this. It's a...
Salutation. Greeting and salutation. Huh?
No,
Is
not a
that it?
salutation. Not a salutation. What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna Google it. Sorry.
Nah,
but,
that's a greeting. Salutation is basically
Greeting.
a greeting. Greeting
Yeah,
versus
salutation is a
closing.
greeting.
It's like French, man.
the opposite
Closing.
of
It's
greeting.
like a closing.
A farewell. A farewell.
Salute.
Oh
yeah.
shit, that ain't the one I'm looking for.
It's
But hey, if
farewell.
that's it, then that's I can't do those, man. That shit.
I'm
Shit is
telling
like,
you
nah.
what it is. It's a farewell.
Dismissal.
No, a dismissal is when you, like, I dismiss you. Like, get the fuck out of here. You're dismissed. So what I
Greetings and
te-
goodbyes.
dismissal is
Hey,
what
who gives a shit, man?
dismissal is what you tell your
Highs and
girl
lows.
after you're done with her. Like, all right, honey, we fucked. You're dismissed. You know, or go to the bathroom and clean that up or something. Crawford is saying
I don't.
3 of his last 4 opponents. Okay, we're not gonna go back to fucking super featherweight. Reese-Mack said
Wait,
dismissal. Yeah. All
All
right,
right,
now
talking
listen.
about Lomachenko.
Now,
We're
Lowplace,
talking about Lomachenko.
Lowplace, are you gonna watch the fight tonight?
Fight tonight. What fight tonight?
Oh boy, you don't know about Cesar Juarez taking on Ismael Dogboe? Dogboe?
The fuck? Who?
That's gonna be a freaking. I'm surprised you don't know about this. This is gonna
What
be
weight is this? What weight class is this?
122 junior featherweight.
No, I ain't been watching them as a late. They done fell off. They done fell off. No, not me.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm surprised. If somebody's gonna be excited about this fight, it's gonna be Lowplace, and I gotta tell you, man, I gotta rethink about whether we should keep having you on this panel now, man, because
Look, I don't watch these little guys no more, man. It's getting just horrible, man. They're getting horrible. That's why another reason Rigondeaux fell off. Just got tired of
forget
rating
about
the
it,
little
man.
man.
Forget about Rigondeaux. He's old news, man. Now we do have, like they said, Valdez versus Quigg. Oscar
I like
Valdez
that.
versus Scott Quigg. I like that fight as well. And we've talked about it in the past about how Valdez, he
Gets
started-
dropped a lot and shit.
He-
Why
gets-
does this Dogbo dude look like he's missing chromosomes? The fuck, man.
Oh man.
I'm serious, no. This shit's crazy, man. This
I
shit.
know.
All right. Now I got a better picture of him. Okay, it's better.
What?
They just fucked up picture of this dude. He look like he missing something.
Are you in a truck right now or something?
No,
Okay, because I hear some sort of like gears moving or something. Like,
I'm clueless on that.
are you in
That might
a?
have been some.
Are you paralyzed? Are you in a chair or something? Like an electric, a wheelchair or electric wheelchair?
No.
Are you like the guy from Hannibal Lecter? What was his name? The bad guy, the who wanted to kill Hannibal. He was in a wheelchair and.
I ain't seen that movie in
Yeah,
a
you
long
should-
time.
Okay, but yeah, going back to Dogboe, yeah, he looks weird, man. He looks like he's not from this planet.
Yeah.
But
It got better. The more pictures I saw, the more I got used to it. But the shit on Box Rec, that shit was fucking wow, dude.
I know, man. But going back to Valdez versus Quigg,
Quick.
I think Valdez does have the speed advantage, but he's just too wild, man. He's gotten, you know what? Here's the thing. Some people might say that he's regressed, but if you say that somebody's been regressing, that implies that he was better. He's never really. He's always been this way. He's always been pretty wide with his power punches. He's always looking for power punches. He's a lot like Shane Mosley. He doesn't really jab. He leads with power punches all the time. And against Quigg is slower, but he also has a very good guard, good power, good body punching. He's like Genesis Cervenia or whatever the name of that last guy Valdez fought, the Filipino guy, but a better version. So am I wrong, or am I thinking Valdez gets beat here?
I like Quigg. Like a lot of people didn't like his last performance versus the Ukrainian guy he was fighting, I believe he was. But I just saw a motherfucker that was walking through the heat and just was bringing it, finding all the counters. He was beating the hell out that dude. The hardest shots over and over and over again. I was entertained. I don't know if impressed is the right word, but I was definitely entertained. Valdez is entertaining, but you're right. Hell, you even gave me something to think about when you said you can't regress from where you've never been. Like, it's just the competition got better and they start finding, you fast, but damn, you are open. And I thought it was going to be Valdez Frampton, and I thought that was going to be more of a battle of who catches the open person first, because they both tend to drop they drop their back guard when they throw their lead hooks, and when they throw their backhands, those are dropped as well. And they try to think I'm the better athlete, and it turns out that no, you're getting broken down because they're catching your shots and you're getting worn down by their stronger shots. And I don't trust Quigg though, and partly because the Frampton fight early in it, I don't like. He's done this before. He did it versus the Cuban dude too. Like, lower his work rate and then like try to explode late. No, you gotta fight 12 rounds. You should be doing that 126 pounds unless you draining the hell out yourself and you can't fight for 12 rounds. That means I can't trust you. You already got to take 5 or 6 rounds to take L's. What if a guy gets confident and keep beating the hell out of you? It's a 50-50 fight, but I mean, if Quigg will fight and do what he can do for 12 rounds, do what he should be doing for 12 rounds, I'd pick him, because Valdez, you're right, he's vulnerable. You didn't ever think that he'd be one of the weakest champions in the game, but it's damn near coming out to that.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. I don't understand why he's so... It's always the same thing. Hook, maybe an uppercut mixed in there, but for the most part, I was even thinking, if Jesse Magdaleno goes up to 126 right now, I would pick him over Valdez, man. I don't think Valdez is really... But then again, you never know. Valdez is young. Maybe he can make some improvements. I don't know. Let's hope for his sakes that he and his coaches make some adjustments. Bucho is saying that anyone can join the Hangouts except the excommunicatus. What the fuck? Is that Latin or something? Is that Latin, Bucho?
Yeah.
Look at you, an educated man, huh? That means that you're not a field agent.
That's cover operative.
No, but that means that you're not trained in Mortal Kombat.
Not field agent.
You're trained in combat and explosives and Mortal Kombat. You know the reference I'm making. Precise Puncher wants in. All right, we still got a couple of minutes. I can bring him in. And by the way, maybe we can get some iron out the details between Lowplace and Precise Puncher's bet.
Well, the video makes sense, man. Just a video.
Yeah, that works. I'm gonna win. Like,
I don't know, Lowplace. You seem very confident. Like, you don't see
$1,000 make more sense. But
you don't see a possibility where Dorticos can get knocked out by a guy like Gasyev.
No, because the possibility was there even more in the last fight. And you saw that. You saw that.
I don't know.
Like, he's going. I don't think Gasyev hits harder than the Russian him. I don't think he does. I don't think probably no one that tournament does. But he knows how to get. He's going to get his punches out first. He doesn't just give his damn range up. He's going to hit the shit out of Gasyev repeatedly.
I don't know. What was the guy? Kurdyashov, was it?
Say it again.
Kurdyashov was the guy he fought before, right?
Yeah.
The guy who fought the Nigerian. Man, that guy is not. I mean, he has a lot of flaws. Well, not a lot of flaws. He would drop his hands. he would drop his hand, like his right hand, and then he got caught behind the head and stuff like that. I don't see Gasyev getting hit that way, man.
Oh, we got Precise Puncher on the line. Precise, go ahead, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man. How are you?
Good. How's everybody
Fantastic,
doing?
man. Everyone's doing well here.
You know,
Debating.
Dorticos, he looks scary, but like, who did he knock out? Honestly, like, let's be real.
Well, Kudryashov is the only big name, right, on his resume?
Exactly.
That's the
Three,
Precise Puncher laugh. Every time he laughs, is you know he's got something planned. All right, so yeah, go ahead. So you're saying Dorticos is overrated right now?
No, I think he's a very good fighter, but I think his power is a little bit overrated. Maybe not so much his punching power, but the way in which he delivers it.
You think it's overrated?
Because you could be yeah.
Did you see the way he knocked out his trainer, man? That's power right there, man.
They didn't set that one up.
No,
You sure about that?
I don't know, man.
But look, check this out. He knocked out a bunch of bums that have been knocked out a bunch of times.
Mhm.
He stopped Kalenga, who's a really tough guy, right? He stopped him, no doubt about it. But did he knock him out? No, they just stopped the fight because the dude was taking too many punches, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't knock him out. But he's got 21 KOs in 22 fights. My question is, who's the one guy he didn't knock out? Come on now, $1 million question.
No, you got me
But
stumped
you
on
could
that
say
one.
Kalanga. You could say Kalanga never been stopped either.
No, but who's the one guy he didn't knock out? The only guy on his record he did knock out.
I don't know. I'd have to check that out.
I don't know. I think
Before-
I can't remember the name, but I know people don't. He done fought a lot of names. He's like a journey. I can't remember the name. He fought Ward before.
He didn't knock out Edison Miranda.
Yeah,
Get the
160
fuck out of
pounder.
here.
He was knocked out at 160 by Kelly Pavlik, knocked out at 168 by Lucian Bute, knocked out at 175 by Belland, comes up to cruiserweight,
Holy shit.
blown up middleweight, doesn't get knocked out by Dorticos. I question his power. Maybe not his strength, but, skill is important too. Maybe he doesn't, he didn't knock out Miranda. Come on. He didn't knock out a blown up middleweight, so you gotta question the power. I'm sorry, you gotta question the power.
Well, now that you mention it, yeah.
I
Man.
don't. I look. You can go name 3 or 4 more of those. The way I saw this man put that guy on his back and the faces he's making, no, I'm not questioning that power. I'm not questioning the punches I saw thrown. Anybody can go from that. Anybody can be sleek from that. It can be short circuited from that. Miranda, a lucky night. Who knows?
Okay, that's fine. I'm not. Hey, I'm just looking at the record, and he couldn't stop a middleweight that was stopped at 3 different divisions, and then he steps up to cruiserweight, and he can't stop him. Look, maybe Miranda's just that good, right? Maybe. Or he's better than everybody else he fought. Maybe he's a little cagey, but he's in that fight hitting him clean, and he's not knocking him down even. So, a lot of it has to do with your punching power, and the man hits hard, no doubt about it. But a lot of it has to do with your opponent's chin.
Well,
Kudryashov is chinny as hell. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'll play the other side of the argument, which is that sometimes there's guys out there that, they're big punchers, but for some reason, I don't know, stylistically or whatever, they can't knock out a guy with a particular style. Do you think this is what happened against Miranda?
Miranda's a bruiser. He's a brawler. He's a come forward guy. He likes to trade punches.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how what the fight looked like. Maybe he had an off night. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, maybe, right?
Or maybe he got lucky with all them bumps he knocked out.
It was an Iron Mike card. It was just he was fucking him up. It was no problem to hit him or look defensively gifted in the fight. He did his thing.
He won every round, no doubt about it.
He just didn't
won
knock
every
him out.
round.
And that's
like
Lomachenko.
Lomachenko fighting. That's like Lomachenko fighting McWilliams Arroyo or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
But you don't. But we gotta understand, you don't have to win by knockout. He's probably going to be. I think from everything I saw, he's more gifted than Gasyev, and probably he's more gifted than everybody at the division except for Usyk.
He is gifted with what? What's he gifted with?
in the pocket, the man he's good as hell. He's like keep you at the end of his punches, you punch, and he doesn't have to move his feet like most people are angling away from you or changing the range. This man can move his feet, catch and shoot, and you still don't hit him as much as he hits you. That's a gift to him, and he's a bruiser in his own way. But he can not really get on his toes in a way, but the man can be defensive from range. He's just gifted. He's a gifted fighter, and he's long.
Okay.
Every punch in the book. It's not. I'm not saying anything special to him. It's just it is special in a way because he's a pro on a high level. That is special.
Did you notice how every time he throws a punch, his mouth is wide open? Did you notice that?
Hey, he won't be the first or the last to do that.
Okay. Gasyev punches with you.
I don't think he wants to punch with. I think he needs to punch in between those shots. Gets in between the shot. He's gonna have to walk through something. This dude is 4 inches longer than you, and he knows how to use it. A lot of people don't know how to use it. He does.
How does he use it?
Let's go back to something here, which is the Miranda fight. Was that fight televised, or is it anywhere? Is footage available on YouTube or?
I saw the last few rounds on YouTube. There are a few rounds on YouTube. Maybe I didn't look that hard, but some of it is on YouTube.
Okay.
I think they fought in Miami, and it might have been on the Bartholomew card as well. Yeah, it was a Bartholomew card. They fought with like Lubin, and it was like Mike Tyson when he had those damn promotions.
What would people say if Gasyev went 10 rounds with Miranda? What would people say? Let's be honest. What would people say?
I don't think they say anything because they probably don't watch the cruiserweight division. But
oh, come on,
for the most part,
cop out.
No, they wouldn't. Nobody watches it. I mean, he would. That just be one person. What you say? He got a 99% knockout ratio. Like Gasyev doesn't have a 100% knockout ratio.
And yet he hits harder.
But does he? He doesn't have a 100% knockout ratio. He doesn't. He flat out doesn't.
Harder.
Well, maybe he does. Maybe. So who are the people he didn't stop?
Vodarchik's never been stopped, and that was a experienced veteran with a lot of fights and former champion. He was past his prime, but he knocked down Lebiedev, which is a legit knockdown, and Lebiedev, you knock him down to the body, and that guy doesn't get knocked down legitimately. Kalenga put him down, but that was an off-balance shot. That dude is tough as nails, man. He knocked him down. He slept a few guys. Nobody's really. But he did stop Vodarchik, who's never been stopped. And, was always a tough dude.
He looked like he was ready to go with the body. He looked like he knew he was never win the fight in the first place. That was the easiest fight to predict in the tournament, I believe. Well, besides Usyk Cook, and that's for different reasons.
Hamed, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah. Well, how's it going, everyone?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for being on.
Yeah. I was out. I had some stuff. I just tuned in. I thought I'd jump in because I was listening to the show.
Mm-hmm.
I could hear myself talk. Why is that?
I think that's on Precise end. You get some feedback over there, Precise.
Oh.
All right. Yeah. So, I was surprised. I never knew that Dorticos went 10 with Miranda. I just found out. So that has kind of surprised me. As for his, I don't think I wouldn't. I wouldn't question his power. But
all right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't question his power, but one thing I would question is if he does hit as hard as which I thought. I mean, he should be getting rid of Miranda, but I think I seen something interesting. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it when he got stopped in the amateurs by one of the Eastern Europeans. I got questions over his chin. That's the only thing. I think if Gasyev jumps on him, I'm not too sure if Dorticos could take a punch. But then again, if Dorticos does what he done in his last fight, and Gasyev stands in front of him, Dorticos can knock anyone out. I think at Cruiserweight. And the thing is, I don't know if Gasyev would give him the opportunity to let it become a fight fight where they're just chin checking.
What can I ask you? What else can Gasiev do except stand in front of him? Because that's what he's done with everybody. Stand in front of him, just about.
I think
He's very fast.
I was more impressed with Gassiev's last fight than I'd say Dorticos. I think the guy that Dorticos was fighting.
Hamed, are you there?
No, Dorticos was fighting. That guy looked out of his zone. I mean, he just looked like a guy who could just knock out. He looked like basically a guy that could just knock out pub fighters. He was way out of his zone because when he got hit, looked like he was out of his zone. I'm not too sure if that's to do with how hard Dorticos hits or whether or not that guy there wasn't a Kurdishev, was just the guy who was knocking out lower tier opponents.
Well, let me raise an issue here that somebody pointed out in the chat room. We're talking about Gasiev and the tough fight he had against Lebdev, or the demanding fight, I should say. But some people are asking how good Dorticos' chin is, because we haven't really been seeing it hasn't been seen tested. I mean, the guy is pretty relaxed in there. Yeah, go ahead.
Dorticos has been knocked out. I don't know the guy who he fought, but I think it was. I can still hear myself. I don't know why that is, but I think it was Dougie Fish or someone who retweeted a video. Dorticos looked out, and this was with a head guard on. So I think if it's anyone's chin, I'd question it'd be Dorticos. The only thing is, I don't know about Gasyev. I haven't seen Gasyev.
I don't make much of amateur knockouts. I just can't do that. Like, they fight so damn much. You kind of got no choice but to lose at some point. I don't care if it's by knockout or UD. You could be fighting, 5 times in 5 days or some shit like that.
Uh-huh.
No. No.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, I don't rate that. But if it happens, it happens. Hell, if he don't got a chin, we'll find out. I think Gasiev does have a hand speed, but he can't match the range of the foot. The foot speed is about equal, and that's where the problem's gonna come in that form.
Precise.
I think yeah.
Go ahead, Hamid. Go ahead.
Yeah. I could just hear myself. I can't.
Yeah, I think it's on Precise. I think it's on your end. There's some.
I don't hear anything.
You don't hear any echo?
No.
Too much echoing.
Well, it's not that much, but
I don't hear anything either.
All right. Well, I guess I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to tell you guys. Anyway, keep going. We'll plow through it.
Someone's got the speaker on, I think. But what I was gonna say was, I think it's a 50-50 fight. But I've seen a lot of people that seen the Gasiev and the Lebedev fight, saying the Dorticos would be the favorite. I still think it's a 50-50 fight. The only thing when I seen the Dorticos get knocked out in the amateurs, I don't know. I just think I saw something with Butte when he got knocked out in the amateurs as well. I mean, if you get knocked out cold in the amateurs with the head guard on, and if it's against a guy that especially with Dorticos, the guy he fought, I've never heard of, then I don't know. I'd have a question mark. But since they are both professionals and they both got high knockout rates, I still think it's a 50-50 fight.
Well, let me just say that the headgear doesn't prevent you from being knocked out. The headgear protects you from cuts and from cuts. It doesn't really lessen the damage from a knockout. I mean, if you get hit on the head, you get hit on the head. The cushioning is not really going to help, as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong.
What about the big gloves?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. The thick gloves, maybe. But Hamed, do you have a headset on right now? Hamed?
I think it's Hamed's.
Hamed, do you have a headset on?
No.
Hey, I challenge people to watch the Dorticos Lebedev, and I remember making a video, and I said one of the only body punches that Lebedev threw was in the 6th round, and he landed the fuck out of it. I just don't see how anyone's going to look at Lebedev Gasiev and say this is what you think can win him the fight for versus Dorticos. He had to throw real short shots. He's going to be good at that. I think that's fair to fight that.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, Dorticos goes to the body. He throws any and everywhere. He didn't defend the body punch as well. I don't think he ever would. And I think Lebedev had success when he dropped him, and he only threw about 5 the whole damn fight. He just
Okay,
faced
okay,
a much better opponent.
okay. Who's picking Gasiev in this fight then?
I'm not.
I am.
What about Lowplace?
No, I'm going Dorticos and then Usyk in the finals.
They have a
So what
bet.
do you
They made a
think?
bet.
Do you think it's a 50-50 fight with Gasiev and Dorticos, or do you think?
No,
No,
I think Gasyev has the uphill has the uphill
I think I got it as 60-40 for Garcia.
I'm more towards 50-50. I haven't seen the Lebedev fight, so I can't make a judgment. But I've seen enough of Dorticos to definitely give him a shot. I've seen only one fight of Gasiev. I'm gonna have to watch his fight with Lebedev before I make a proper judgment.
Here are my problems with Dorticos, if I may.
Hmm.
Bad balance. The guy has bad balance, which means he could be countered. He falls off balance and
Mm.
he could get caught. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is he's very flat-footed unless he's moving. And when he is moving, he's not Muhammad Ali. He doesn't disguise his jab with anything. He just throws it out there. I think that jab could be countered fairly easily because he doesn't feint, he doesn't probe. He just I'm exaggerating, obviously, but that jab just goes straight out, and it's a nice jab. It's a
Hmm.
nice punch. It's a fast, straight punch, but he doesn't disguise it with anything. Gasiev is a little bit more versatile with his jab. He probes, he disguises his jab, and his jab is just as good, if not better. And Gasiev cuts the ring off well, and he's a good counter puncher coming forward, which is kryptonite for a guy who wants to box on the back foot. But I just don't even think it's going to be that kind of a fight. I think at some point they're going to just go to war.
Hmm.
I think they're just going to stand there and trade because that's what Dorticos always ends up doing in all his fights. He ends up standing his ground and trading. And he drops his hands when he throws his punches. His mouth is wide open. And technique is just not as sharp. Just
That's
not
a
as
good.
sharp.
That's a
So
good
that
point
just
about how
goes.
it might evolve into an inside fight because you're right. Dorticos is a flat-footed guy. I don't see him moving in this fight unless Gassiev does enough damage to make him go on the defensive. I mean, do you think that could happen, or do you really expect them
no,
to stand in the center of the ring?
he's not about that movement shit everywhere. He's about fighting. That's why I think he's going to be best at but he keeps the range in like little in meters, like just little inches and shit. The way he's keeping the range, and you can tell he's doing it, and he's throwing these long punches and connecting with him, and that's where he's going to give Gassiev a problem. Gassiev knows hitting. I saw Gassiev when he was fighting a guy that was trying to control range by moving more. He didn't look good in the fight.
Who?
He only looked
Thomas?
good.
Thomas on PBC?
Yes, that's the only
He,
fight.
he was about to knock that guy out. He was
The
gonna
only
knock
fight.
that guy out cold.
The only fight that I saw him look good in, and I won't just say good because I thought Lebedev didn't look good himself. He didn't fight what he should have done. He's a smaller guy. He's just trying to stay on the end of punches, and he still had a lot of success.
I
Okay,
don't disagree with that, but look.
okay.
You say you disagree with
Uh,
Lebedev having success?
no, I thought it was a very close fight, and I gave it to Gassiev based on the fact that he landed the harder punches, even though
Yeah, Gaston
Lebiev
clearly
technically
won.
outboxed him. Lebiev outboxed him. Don't get me wrong.
He clearly won the fight. I just think Lebedev should
Mm,
have sunk to the body and made him prove that he's
I
gonna
thought
keep
the
coming through the body punches.
I thought the harder puncher won the fight, but I'm not going to argue with you because it was one of those fights. But look, listen to this.
Yeah, Gasiev won the
Dortico.
fight. Clearly, is what I said. He clearly won the fight. I
Yeah.
thought he
Oh, okay.
clearly won.
Okay. Okay. But look, Dortico, he went life and death with Kalenga. He stopped him. He did. He went life and death, and he was down on the cards, and he couldn't win that fight unless he knocked him down.
Hmm.
He was going to lose that fight on the cards unless he knocked him down. Now, Lebiev lost maybe 3-4 rounds to Kalenga, okay? And Gasiev was basically on the level of Lebiev, but you have to assume him being a young fighter, learning from that experience, he's better than that now. So even if you want to say he's on the level of Lebiev more or less, I see Dortico slightly better than Kalenga or roughly on that level as far as boxing skill. Now, getting cracked in the mouth and getting stopped, it could happen to anybody, right? You could get, but as far as boxing skill goes, Kalenga was outboxing Dortico and Gasiev was hanging with Lebiev. So I think there's a slight separation there as far as boxing skill goes. And then these problems that I pointed out about Dortico, I think they're gonna hurt him because he drops his hands, he punches with his mouth wide open, his technique is not as sharp, and I don't think he hits as hard as advertised. I don't think. And
I think.
Go ahead.
I think Gasyev's a better boxer. I definitely agree that. The only thing I'd say with Dorticos is his footwork against Kurdashev. I thought if he fought someone with a much better technique than Kurdashev, it would have been a dangerous fight to fight that style. I mean, he was just standing square on, and Kurdashev was there to be hit. He was like a rabbit out of the headlights, in my opinion. Because when the first
Kurdashev was a bomb, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Gasyev could cut the ring off. I think what Dorticos has to do is he's gonna have to chin check him to see if he could hurt him. I think if he can't hurt him, I think Gasyev wins that fight. I think he's the more technically sound fighter. He's the better fighter. The only thing is, I need to watch the Lebedev fight. But one thing is, has Dorticos fought anyone better than Lebedev?
No.
That's
Yeah,
it.
so
Yeah, but they both.
Yeah,
gonna
so
beat
that's
Lebedev.
interesting.
They're both gonna beat Lebedev though. Like even though he hasn't fought Lebedev, he's gonna beat him. Like that's just that. Too small now.
I gotta tell you guys, I'm enjoying this conversation a lot because a lot of the fights that you're talking about I haven't seen, so I'm learning a lot about Dorticos and Gasyev. So, but that's a good question Hamed asked. I mean, so far Gasyev has that Lebedev win, and it's a pretty good win, even though it was a close fight. But that begs the question: Dorticos, at what level is he compared to all of these guys? Because what I see from him, I like, even though, like Precise said, he's got some holes in his game. But he seems pretty relaxed as well, and in the pocket, he looks like the type of guy that could really do some damage. So I gotta ask you: does Gasyev possess the better qualities to make changes during the fight, or would that go to Dorticos?
Good question.
Anybody?
I think it's an interesting thing. I haven't seen enough of either guy, but I've seen the only thing I've seen in Dorticos is he got knocked out in the amateurs. I know I keep going back to this. Has anyone seen Gasyev get hurt or not? Has he been down? If he's been down or hurt, is there any footage?
No, he's never been chin checked. That's just the problem. He keeps his chin tucked. He does get hit around the eyes, but his chin is tucked for the most part. It's difficult to hit him on the chin, so we just don't know.
Was it the Schimmel dude? I can't. I don't want to be wrong, but I thought the Schimmel dude was also having success before getting knocked out.
Having success before getting knocked out. What does that mean? That means Dorticos is going to have some success and get knocked out.
No. Where you can see you having a lot of success versus a guy. You said a guy with better talent is then going to not make the mistakes. Like Schimmel's not some great opponent. He shouldn't even be.
Sometimes you allow guys to hit you so you can counter them. Okay. I mean,
a little bit of
success early on doesn't
you shouldn't
mean
have
anything.
to let him hit you to beat him. You shouldn't have to let him beat you to hit. Like that. That's the thing.
Sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah, but with Jordan Schimmel though, remember what we talking about? We're talking about a guy that has no quality basically.
Look.
Okay,
He trains with Sanchez, right? He trains with Sanchez. Golovkin will give some fighters his forehead. He'll say, hit me on the forehead. He'll tuck his chin, he'll protect the chin, and he'll look to counter or catch him punching. Gasyev does the same thing. I'm not saying he lets guys hit them.
Fighters, we saw what people wanted to say him doing that, and you see him in closer fights. So that's kind of proving my point. I don't think that should be your first tactic to say, "Oh, hit me," and then I find it.
No. You're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm not saying he lets people hit him. It's the function of his style, of the way he fights. Because he comes forward, he's gonna get hit. He tends to have the shorter arms than his opponents. He's gonna get hit. But if you're gonna get hit simply because of your style, protect your chin, maybe give him the forehead, and then just counter off what they're doing. You know, he's not trying to get hit. Just like Golovkin is not letting people hit him. He's not really letting them. It's gonna happen.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask this because I didn't see the Schimmel fight. So, it depends on the context, right? Like, for example, was Schimmel covering up and on the defensive,
He was
or
on the back. Yeah, he was. It was like some
He
back
was
foot,
running.
but you could basically cut the ring off on him and put in work. Like it was not like he was some speed demon, but he was definitely on the back foot a lot. I'll rewatch it, but I just remember like, yo, I wasn't impressed with the first round. Then next thing you know, the dude was it was knockout of the year material after that.
Guys
But
tend to
I
run
was gonna
from
say,
this guy.
don't be surprised if the Cuban puts the man on the back foot. Cause I'm telling you, like that's what Kujirasha thought he was gonna do, just gonna make him go around in circles and circles. The man said, "Fuck that, I'm here to fight," and that's when it turned. So I wouldn't doubt if people are looking and saying, "Oh, look at his foot speed," look at no, he's a fighter. He's not that guy that wants to be moving a lot. So I think you can put him
Then
get him
I
on the
was just
back foot
reading
and have
that.
even more success.
I think that's the way he
I
wins
was
this
reading.
fight. If he does, I think he has to push him back. That's what I believe.
And he's
But I don't think he
capable.
will.
Look at the change of the level in his punches. Like I'm telling you, go watch Lebedev hit this man up top as much as he want at times, and then you say you hit him in the sixth round is one of the only rounds he threw a body shot. No, excuse me, not Gasly,
Lebedev is
Dorticos.
6 feet tall. You don't want to be throwing body shots to these little guys that are
No,
hunched
that's what I'm
over.
saying. Lebedev, no, listen to me. Lebedev would not throw body shots. I was
Oh,
begging this man throw the fucking body shot, and he wouldn't. This dude, Gassy, Dorticos, 6'3", he would drop levels, change levels, and ruin your body. Gassiev has something on. He got something on a new level this time. They better both show up, or they could get knocked out. But I'm just going with Gassiev right. I mean Dorticos right now. He showed me more.
it's a close fight. I'm not disputing that. I think it's a close competitive fight. I'm not saying it's easy to call. I just have to go with the more proven guy that in my opinion hits harder. He's been in there with a better level of opposition and it has better balance, better punches, and looks to be more technically sound to me. But I think it's a close competitive fight until somebody gets knocked out, and that's how the fight's gonna end.
What?
Gassiev is faster on the counter. I would say Gassiev hands are faster on the counter. But when Dorticos start putting 4 and 5 together, I'm talking about the single counter with Gassiev. He is fast. But Dorticos, when 3 and 4 and the level change come together, it's hard to keep up with that big motherfucker, man. I just don't think he can beat Usyk. Gassiev, yes, but Usyk, he surprised the fuck out of me if he beats him. He's
How?
beating Gassiev, in my opinion.
I don't see. I'm watching a fight with Bertubiev. Even Bertubiev managed to knock down Dorticos, and he managed to stop him. I think. I mean, there's a huge question marks over Dorticos' chin. The only way I think Dorticos could win this fight if it turns into a phone booth fight where they're both just standing there. I think if Gasyev uses the ring and he tries cornering him, I think Gasyev could
It's over, yeah.
win. I mean, it's a 50-50 fight. If anything, I'd favor Gasyev. I mean, but the only thing I'd say with Gasyev is I just haven't seen him enough of him, or I haven't seen his chin get checked. I mean, it's a 50-50
I got a
fight.
theory about these Cuban chins. Hear me out, guys. The Cuban chins. Like, Rigondeaux got no chin, right? We could all agree on that. Erislandy Lara's got a shaky chin. You know, the way they do these Cuban fighters on the island is they malnourish them when they're little so that they make the smallest way possible, right? Like, you look at Rigondeaux, he really hasn't grown much. He's grown a little bit, but not really what you'd expect. He's been a super bantamweight his entire career. I think because of them being malnourished as children, their chins, I think they're not as strong physically, and their chins are not as good. And it's kind of a recurring pattern with like Barrera, big strong dude, looks like a big strong dude. His chin he gets knocked down a lot, right? Doesn't have the greatest chin. Cubans just tend not to have very good chins. Name me one Cuban that has proved to have like a solid monster chin. They don't exist.
I mean, you got a point. But then at the same time, we only got a small sample size of those fighters. Like
The best ones.
they
We
have
got
to.
the best ones, didn't we? We got the best ones.
Maybe I don't know. I wouldn't say the best because always the people who are the best in the amateurs don't always become the best pros. So
Well, we got what we
I mean,
got,
we got
and
the
we
ones
never
that they
saw a
say.
good chin. I never seen a
Yeah.
good chin on a Cuban. I'm just saying, like a really solid chin. You know what I mean?
I would say probably
Perez
the
been
ones
knocked
I've
out.
seen, Russell's Bartholomew got the best one of them today. And
Barthelemy's a weight bully, so we'll see when he starts fighting guys his
his
own
could be
style.
shaky. Yeah, his could be shaky, but you have to hit him perfectly to get that response from him. So yeah, like I would just say the sample size of those fighters, they got to go through hell to get over here to fight. That don't mean they ain't got a few over there, some damn rough houses. They just say, I'm not leaving. They got to take
Well,
a
but
risk to get the fuck over here.
from what some of the people are saying, he's been knocked out before, so it doesn't bode well, man. That's all I'm saying. You can't argue that him, whether you want to, you know, accept the argument as to the contrary. You can't argue for him if he's been knocked out in the amateurs, especially. It's not a good look.
But who hasn't? Who hasn't?
Maybe it doesn't mean any. Golovkin, Gasyev.
Yeah,
In this case,
but for the
Gasyev.
most part, every guy that you're gonna look at, you say knocked out or hurt, and in the amateurs, let's admit, the referee could see you hurt, badly hurt, and wave you the fuck off. So
No, but
Yeah,
no, but it depends how you get knocked out. I mean, look at Butte in the amateurs, the way Golovkin knocked him out. That's when I knew Butte was chinny as hell. I mean, the way he got. I mean, to get put out in the amateurs with the head guard on, it does make a difference. I've actually sparred. You could take more shots on the cranium, and the shots, even if you get hit on the chin, is not much of a. Is not. Let me just put it as it's harder to get knocked out in the amateurs than it is in the pros, and if you've been flat out knocked out or been all over the place in the amateurs, I think it does tell a story in a way. I mean, a lot of the fighters he's just named have not been knocked out or exposed in the amateurs. I don't know, maybe Dorticos has improved something, but the way he looked in some of those fights, like even against Bertobiev, I mean, I don't know. I think Dorticos' best chance is probably a puncher's chance. That's why I'd give him in this fight. But I'd still say it's a 50-50 fight because I haven't seen enough of Gasyev.
we'll see. We'll see. I'll see. It'll be a great fight to watch. I wouldn't mind being wrong one bit, but I'm telling you, that speed and him able to keep the range the way he can, and he doesn't have to run from you to fight you. He can keep it with one step, a step, just one step, a step inch, or anything like that. He's ready to go. He's ready to go, and he's ready to keep fighting. You're gonna have to be tough as well, and understand something is coming back at you for the first. Like he's seen people coming at him. He's seen like the experience where he says getting knocked out. I've never seen the fight. Not going to watch the fight, but he's seen a Beterbiev coming at him. How many times? As a fighter like Gasyev, seeing people wanting to stand there and fight him. He's going to see it for the first time.
Well, I gotta say, it's gonna be very interesting to watch this fight. It was already an interesting fight, but it has become extra interesting because we know that Lowplace and Precise Puncher have now made a bet. It is official. They're having a bet. The winner has to go to the other guy's channel, which, by the way, check out. Don't
No,
forget
it's
to
in their
check
own
out.
channel, man.
What's that?
Like they make a video in their own channel.
Okay, yeah. The loser. Oh, okay. I thought the loser had to go to the other guy's channel.
No.
Somebody
that-
just mentioned the Dogbo fight.
Don't
Just
fucking
mentioned,
no. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it, man. You should not
Yeah,
spoil it.
yeah.
But yeah, this fight's gonna be interesting, man. This Cruiserweight. Now, Precise, I gotta ask you something. I was watching one of your videos. I think it was the last one, and you got some guy. You had to delete some guy from your comment section. Some Japanese guy or something.
Oh yeah. I get tired of people bullshitting. I don't put up with liars and people who look at facts and reject them. So I'm kind of mean like that, I don't put up with bullshit.
Yeah, I get you, man. Sometimes you don't have the energy to be arguing with people back and forth, especially when you've made your point and they want to keep going, going around in circles. But I mean, you speak your mind, you're very open about it, and you're very direct about it. Do you get a lot of people in your comment section that we don't see because you erase them right away, or how much harassment do you get? Well, not harassment, but you know what I mean, right? Like,
I got a good strategy when say I'm watching a fight on YouTube and I see people making terrible comments, like just stupid shit. I go to their channel directly and I just block them. It's preemptive strike. If I see somebody talking nonsense on the video and like I see them repeatedly, I just go straight to their channel and just block them so that I never have to deal with that bullshit on my channel. But that's just something I've learned to do over the years.
That's pretty smart, man.
Look, I don't do this for views. I don't do it for money. I just do it because I enjoy it, and I just don't put up with nonsense. I've been doing it so long, and I've endured enough, and I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? I'm just too. But I'm like that in real life too. If someone's bullshit, I pay them no mind. I just cut them off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the thing that I've found is that, and let me tell you something, that I used to go on the internet a lot to discuss boxing back in the early 2000s, but then a couple years ago I dropped out, I got tired of it, and then Bucho and I started BDA, and I had to get back to reading people's comments and everything. And one thing that surprised me that I found out was that Rigondeaux, the guy who isn't popular, suddenly was very popular on the internet. He has a lot of fans on the internet, and they really let me have it in the comment section during the build up to the fight. And I've noticed that in your channel too, they're still going at you even after the fight.
But you're very tame. You're very like straight down the middle and neutral, which kind of to a fault even, because sometimes if a dude sucks, I'll just say it, and you'll kind of you'll handle it with baby gloves on. You know what I mean? And that's fine. But like you're very politically correct for the most part, and I'm not.
But to say
but to see people
when he can break a face, no, that doesn't suck, man. That can break your face. That's ridiculous, dude.
I'm sorry, but people were saying the fight was going to be competitive. Even the people that are picking Lomachenko were saying he's going to do this, he's going to do that. He didn't do shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And
I can agree. I can agree there. But what you kind of had was the system kind of like a lot of people. I ain't gonna say the system. A lot of people are looking at Lomachenko and they're saying they're not happy, so they want to root against him. And I can understand it when your two biggest names have asterisks by them. I don't require anybody like you. Rigondeaux, 38, small, hasn't won a fight in a year and a half. Walters hasn't been in a fight in a year, and your promoter refused to give him a fight after agreeing with him that he shouldn't took the low money for the fight.
Oh, here we go with the paper trailing. Okay, who got better probe? Okay, no. Listen. Who got better probe game than Lomachenko?
Like we want the shit to be done
they're
right.
facts. They're facts. I could nitpick anybody's record like that. Question: who got better probe game? Who got better footwork? Who's faster? Who got better defense?
Yeah.
Lateral movement. Who got better lateral movement?
One at a time, guys. One at a time.
But the thing is, all that can be great. But people have still lost fights with every advantage they have had. They have lost fights. I'm here to see what you're gonna do when these people ready. When like Walters and Lomachenko should have been a huge fight for the public. Instead, they turned into a top ranked shit show. As I've always said, they robbed me personally of seeing Lomachenko active, Walters active, and the best fight. I already seen Lomachenko lose with all of this good footwork. I already seen him in a fight where he did not come out on top. I wanted to see if he was actually better or if you feeding some shit down my throat. And I felt like that's feeding some shit down the throat.
Okay, have you seen Mayweather's second pro fight?
No, I haven't.
He had hella trouble with the bomb, like a straight up bomb that ended up with like a 354 kind of a record, right? But just because the guy was a southpaw, Floyd Mayweather looked like shit over 4 rounds. It probably would have lost the fight if it went 12. He had trouble with a bomb in the second pro fight.
I probably have seen the fight. I think they told him after that, don't let my son fight no southpaws or some shit like that. He won the fight. He did. Yeah, but understand, 18 years old compared to what 26 years old Lomachenko was. He had if he wanted to slow down. That's why I don't like when people try to compare. Look, this man was a whole grown man when he came into the sport.
Okay, that's true. No, that's true. But hold up, you got to be objective. That is very much true. What else is true? Lomachenko fought a seasoned pro world champion. Mayweather fought a bum southpaw, okay? So, yeah, he was 18, 19. He fought a bum. Lomachenko fought a champion seasoned pro who, guess what, broke the rules.
But at 26.
And a lot of people thought Lomachenko won the fight. A lot of people had him winning the fight.
Name who Mayweather fought when I believe Lomachenko was 26. Or am I wrong or am I right when he fought Salido? 26.
Something in his mid-20s, yeah.
Okay, now when Floyd Mayweather was 26, he had won, I believe, by this time two lineal championships. It's like
Okay, but
I just
that's
I
cool.
don't.
That's cool. All right,
So
all
it's
right.
no
Can I say
comparison. I
something
don't
now?
understand. I
No,
don't
there
want to
is a
compare them.
comparison. Hold on, hold on. There
I
is
don't
a.
care
You
to.
said you. Okay, you got it. Cool. I agree with you. Here's another one. When Floyd Mayweather was 18, 19, he was getting his ass whooped in the second round of World Championships. He was getting a gift decision in the Olympics over a Cuban. Right? He was getting the gift decision. When Lomachenko was 18, 19, 20, he was winning world championships and gold medals. I mean, this could go both ways. You can't just cherry pick.
Yeah, but what
I
you're
mean,
looking,
be
I'm talking
objective.
about that pro. I'm talking about their pro games. I'm not talking about it. I don't think the amateurs means anything to the pros. It can at times. Other times that argument can be shot out the
Well,
water. But when we looking at
oh,
him as a pro, you're saying, yo, you did the World Series, you did the I can't remember what they call it over there, but you did that, and you came over here as a full grown man, and you lost a fight. I mean, you were thinking, yo, this guy's gonna be easy work. Everybody else who's anybody's beat him. He only beats like tough, rugged fighters, whatever. And that didn't
Okay, cool.
happen. So
All
he
right,
took
here's
the he
another one.
took the
Here's
L.
another one.
But
I got
that's I'm
another
not
one.
mad at the L. Hold on, I'm not mad at the L. All I'm mad at is when you feed somebody Walters could bring you that kind of style that's coming towards you, giving you body shots, plus a better jab when he comes to you and a high work rate, and they just say, nah, we're gonna reduce him to 2 months of training and we're gonna put him in. I don't want to see that. If you're great, show me you're great and I'll accept it. But Lomachenko hasn't done
Excuses.
that. And it's
Excuses.
no, it's not excuses because
Excuse. Okay, all
everybody
right,
else in the
cool. You
sport of
made your
boxing is
point.
in.
You made your point. That's great. Now we got Floyd Mayweather. How old was he? 24, 5 maybe when he fought Jose Luis Castillo the first time. Guess what?
Good
The
fight.
guy from the same school of boxing as Salido, the same school of boxing, except he wasn't fighting very dirty and whooped Floyd Mayweather's
It
ass.
was a
Top
good
Rank had
fight.
to save him
It was a
from a
good
long.
close fight. It was a good
Yeah,
close fight.
But Floyd was a pro for how many years already?
It
How
was
many
a
pro
good
fights did
close
he have
fight.
already?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a
but he
good
was 24 years old. He was 25. He was
close
a
fight.
grown man. He was
A
a
good.
grown
I don't
man.
mind that. That's what I want. I don't. I'm a boxing fan. I don't mind good close fights. I don't think you understand that. Luis Castillo is not some bum off the street. It was a good close fight. I want to see that. This
He's a
man went on.
Salido level fighter. He's a
Oh,
Salido
so
level. They fight
he went on.
exactly the same
Okay, he
way.
went on.
It's
Okay,
the
you can say
same fighter.
that if you want. I personally do not believe he's. I believe Salido is under him. I personally would pick a Castillo to say you'll beat him. You'll beat a Rocky Martinez. You're better than that. He is. He's a
Well, that's
better boxer.
convenient for you to say. So of course you're gonna say that. I'm being
No,
objective
I
and I'm
just
saying
personally,
they're
from what I've
equal.
seen of him, I would. What I've seen him, I would.
Because it's convenient. Because it's
No, it's
convenient to
not
say that. So
convenient.
that's what you
It's
say.
not. No,
I said they're the same.
I've seen him with Castillo be the outboxer. No, he's a better. I mean, excuse me. I've seen him with Corrales be the outboxer. No, I've seen him do more than Salido willing to do. What Salido's capable of doing. I'm not saying Lomachenko's a bad fighter. I look at him and I think he's good. I'm just not going to praise fucking you telling your what not I can't say he told his promoter, but your promoter bringing the guy off a year layoff, purposely not giving him fights after he has agreed with him that the fight shouldn't have been made until later, and then bringing you in and
No,
saying, okay, you go look good. No, I can't.
you're not.
No, that's
That's cool. You're not gonna praise Lomachenko. You're gonna praise a 40-year-old up in Canada fighting bum after bum after bum after bum, and that's
okay.
cool.
And you know
And that's
what? And you
cool.
know what? No, 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 no. I'm trying. I want to praise him for fighting Badu Jack, but people don't seem to want that fight. I wanted to
Oh,
praise him
that's
for
a
fighting
great
Sergey
fight.
Cole, but I wanted to
everybody
praise
wants
That's a
him
that
for.
great
fight.
fight.
Everybody wants that fight. Come
Hold
on.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I wanted to praise him for fighting Sergey Kovalev, but Sergey Kovalev turned down a potential $4 to $5 million and pursued Andre fucking Ward to go get speared and headbutted. See, I'm not. I want the fights, but I can't tell people, hey, don't go look at Andre Ward as an easier fighter. I can't tell her, look, if I'm Lomachenko, I do the same thing. If you're gonna make it easy for me, I make this easy money. But when I see other people doing more and they doing it in fair fight, I'm going to praise them more. When he gets it right, Lomachenko will get all the praise he deserves. But until then, I gotta hold some standards, man. This shit is that's horrible. Like the man is even getting in the ring himself, saying the man got in the ring himself, got the microphone and said, "I don't deserve no credit." That is fucking painstaking for
But you know
anybody
why
that's
that
trying to.
is? You know why that is? Let me explain what that means. It's convenient for people, the detractors. I'm gonna be nice right now. It's convenient for them to grab that and run with it, and that's fine. You know what he meant? What he meant to say was, I'm heads and shoulders above this guy that you thought was pound for pound number 3. You said he was pound for pound number 3. I wasn't trying to fight him. I told you he's too small. I didn't want the fight. You forced it upon me. I whooped his ass.
But yeah, like I said
You
before,
hyped his.
dude.
I'm heads and shoulders above this guy. Not only that, but I'm not gonna bully his ass like I bullied Mariaga. I'm gonna outbox his ass. He's the smaller guy coming up in weight. He's supposed to be faster. He's supposed to be lighter on his feet. He's supposed to be
What?
outboxing my ass.
No, he wasn't
Hold on,
supposed. He
hold on.
wasn't.
Hey, can I finish? Can I finish?
Go ahead.
I'm supposed. Look at it like this. Steve Cunningham, Tyson Fury, right? Tyson Fury is getting outboxed, he's getting embarrassed, he's getting put down. He goes to work, closes the distance, and beats him up. Lomachenko showed us in that fight he could have done that. He didn't do it. He outboxed his ass. And then he said, hey, I'm humble. I don't need credit for this. That's okay, because there are bigger and better things to come. And there's going to be a whole bunch of butthurt coming from all the Lomachenko detractors. So please keep on detracting, because hey, I need video material. So
What's the
I'm not.
butthurt?
I'm not.
What's the butthurt? What? Nobody's butthurt at what he can
I'm
do.
not saying you, but there's a ton of
Yeah,
butthurt when it comes to Lomachenko.
but understand, I'm the one that you're at the moment debating. So like, if you're saying them, I can't speak for them. I can only speak for low place for
Well, I don't
Scorsese.
watch your channel, so I don't know what your
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
standards are.
But you've seen me on here. You've seen my arguments with him on here. That's fine. You don't have to worry.
And I see people chewing you out all the time for having no
Look, okay,
standards. That's what I see.
what I need them to do, I need them to start supporting when everybody else is fighting opponents that they have no. When if Floyd Mayweather come back and he puts a pay-per-view on of a guy that hasn't fought in a year and it's an easy fight, you're thinking, well, it's a good name, but it's easy fight for. Don't detract it, love it. Because me personally, I'm going to tell you, it's bullshit. I'm not going to watch it. I don't have no favorites. I have what men should be doing, fighting the best when they the best, and if they're not, I don't have much to say about that man unless he's proven to me that he will already do that and people are ducking him so he won't do it again. That's the only thing I'm talking on. Lomachenko can fight. I agree. I think he can fight. But you can't just go getting props and praise and pound for pound number one when I can look at your resume and say, yo, your 2 best names that you fought. It was a whole year for them.
So it's about the resume. It's about the resume.
Resume skills. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things in pound for pound, and
It
it's
depends
easy
on.
to pick one.
Well, it seems like you always picking and choosing when it comes to these standards, but that's okay. Look, I
When
don't
you
know
want to
how
talk
much.
resume, who do you want to talk? Who do you want to talk when you talk resume, and who's on
Who
my
got a
list?
better resume than Pacquiao? If you want to base everything on resume, who got a better resume than Pacquiao?
Who?
Who got a
Okay,
better one?
look. I didn't say resume was the only thing, but when I look at Pacquiao, like I told people he was going to do, the man has not fought real welterweights at welterweight, and I don't know how long. He gets a pass as saying I'm a little welterweight, so I fought these junior welterweights that call themselves welterweights and below. If you're that small, take your ass down to 140 and 135. If not, when you
Jeff
take
Horn
that,
wasn't a welterweight.
yes, and he took that L like I told you he would. Like I told this panel, he's going to take.
Most people thought he won the fight. Most people, but that's okay. Most people
It
though thought he
wasn't.
won
It
the
Actually,
was a
I
fight.
have
close
to.
fight.
Sorry,
It
sorry,
was a
sorry.
close fight. He got
I
roughed
have to
up.
go on the record here. I have to go on the record. Lopez, you never that Pacquiao fight and the Pacquiao and Horn fight. You weren't here on the panel, so I don't
Okay.
remember you. Yeah, just
Yeah,
just trying to
But
clarify.
I'll say this. I've been on pound for pound boxing report. I've been all over the boxing voice. I'm all over there saying, yo, this dude is going to get roughed up and he's going to find himself having problems with Jeff Horn foot speed at times in the fight. Physicality is not only laying on a person, it's when it's coming at you and it's bigger than normal and it's faster than normal. That can make size an issue too. So when you say Lomachenko did not beat Rigondeaux with size, no, who would you rather have running at you full speed? LeBron James or Muggsy Bogues? Size plays a factor
I
even in
don't. I,
perception.
I don't watch basketball,
Okay,
so
you know LeBron James. So
I've
you
heard of him. I know he's a tall dude. I know Muggsy Bogues is 5'10". That's
yeah,
all I know. But
exactly.
I get the point.
Yes.
I get the point. But it's bad. I just don't. I don't get into analogies with different sports because boxing is unique. But whatever. I get the point. Now, hey, well, it's whatever. It's all opinions. Nobody got a better resume, objectively speaking, than Pacquiao right now. Even if you want to count all those losses, because look, he's a lightweight by today's standards. If you want to put everybody to the Pacquiao standards, you're telling me Triple G is going to go up to cruiserweight and lose some fights, but beat some of the top guys up there. You telling me Terrence Crawford, if we're putting him to the Pacquiao standard, he's going to go up to 168 and he's going to whoop ass at 168?
I
That's
think
what you're telling me.
no, I think you missed the point.
If we're
I
talking
said
about
if Pacquiao's
we're talking
little,
pound for pound.
I said if Pacquiao's little as he says is, just make the little weights. That's what I just said about Pacquiao.
What little weights?
Make the no, make the
140?
make the 35 where you rehydrated up to 147. Make the
What big fight does he have at 135? What
fuck the
big
big
fight?
fight. Fuck the
147 is where
Jeff
the
Horn
money's
is it?
at.
Fuck the big fight. You're not fighting Thurman. You're not fighting Spence. You're fighting Jeff Horn. You're fighting Vargas. You could sell Linares. Come on,
Thurman's fighting Vargas.
who is?
Thurman's fighting Vargas. I
I
like the
know that.
fight, by the
I
way.
get that, and I'm not happy with that. I'm not proud of it. It's a comeback fight.
That's a good fight.
No,
It's
no.
a top 10 welterweight. What's wrong with fighting top 10 people in your
It's
division?
not. It's really just not what I've seen. Vargas show vulnerability after vulnerability, and Thurman deserves to be. Well, I can't say deserve. He coming off of injury. It's not a horrible fight. It's just not what I want. It's not what
Thurman's
he's
shown
not.
vulnerabilities like a motherfucker, man.
Yes, he
Thurman's been
has.
cracked.
Yes,
He's
he
been
has.
hurt. It's boxing, man. Everybody's vulnerable.
Well, yes, he has. I
That
can
doesn't
agree
mean
with that.
anything.
I can agree with that too. But they to me they just aren't. That's just not the fight you should be making. I guess it's a injury. You come back off an injury. Nobody's ducking Keith Thurman. So after one or two fights or whatever it is you need, I don't need to hear about him needing more times to fight this and this guy. I have no vested interest in Keith Thurman like that.
Ducking is subjective. It doesn't mean anything to say this guy is ducking that guy because I could say the opposite thing and we're just gonna talk nonsense and it's not gonna. That doesn't mean anything. What you got to look at is what they're doing in the ring and how they're doing it. That's really the only objective way to look at boxing. Who's ducking who? That's gossip, man. That has nothing to do with how
I
good
don't
you are.
think that can't be the only way you can look at it because one guy could just have he could let's say for Adonis Stevenson instance he could just have a left hand that you can't get past so he's just telling you well until you get past this I don't have to put any more ketchup on your burn okay I don't have to
But
show you any more
Darnell
ketchup.
Boone got past that motherfucker.
I get that but that's not the same fighter you see today. He's a better fighter. It just is what it is. So if
Nah,
you
I
so
think he's probably older and not as good as he was 3, 4 years
Well,
ago.
what about
I would.
Lomachenko?
maybe he's
Can
not.
Lomachenko improve after
Maybe
that?
he's not. Yes, yeah. I'm not
So I
never
don't know.
said it.
So
I just need
okay, so why do
Lomachenko to get
people
the
always go
opponent
back
in
to
there
that
to show him
Salido
he
fight?
ass.
Why do
Yeah,
people
why?
always go back to that
Exactly.
Salido fight?
Because I don't think
Why?
he's had the opponent since then. This showed that the Walter should have been the man. But matter of fact, I like the Jason Sosa win. I just don't go and say. Matter of fact, even after the Jason Sosa win, I said that kind of shows me Lomachenko might not struggle with another Salido because they're sort of similar. Sosa's going to keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Lomachenko dealt with him. I was impressed with the performance. But at the same time, that ain't the name you need. That's you know who the guy was that you were supposed to be fighting. It was either Walters, it was either and that's for one of them guys getting up in the top three in the division. Or you could have fought Uchiyama, you could have fought a Corrales, you could have did these. It didn't happen, man. It didn't happen. He fought 124, 122 pounders, 126 pounders combined. He fought three of them in a row. None of them had no, I
But
take that back.
why are we judging a guy based on who he didn't fight? That doesn't make any sense.
Because
That doesn't make any sense. But if he fought Corrales, you would have said, "Why didn't you fight Nick Walters?"
no.
If he fought Uchiyama, you would have said, "Why didn't he fight Jason Sosa?" I mean, come on, you can't fight
No, no.
everybody. A and
First and
B. Why are we
foremost,
judging a guy based on fights he didn't fight? That's nonsense.
Walters was almost a career opponent eligible type fighter for him. Him and Lomachenko, they should have done a Pacquiao Morales for top rank. They should have been put in when they were supposed to be put in. They refused to do that, and they told Walters, "Yo, we don't blame you. It's low money. We rather pay Lomachenko scram." That's what they done. And that right there already told me don't put you on Pacquiao's level, don't put you on Morales' level, because they don't believe in you like they believed in those other fighters. And that's just fair to me.
Yeah, but that's all your opinion on somebody else's opinion, and it's not really anything tangible that I could really grab onto, buy it into, and chew it up and spit it back at you. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
But didn't Top Rank come out? Top Rank, Bob Brown himself, come out and says, yeah, what we offered Nicholas Walters was too low, and I do not blame him for turning it down. If you don't blame him, give him fights, keep him active, and then build the fight. Do your job as a promoter, so I don't have to rip your damn head off as a fan, because it's easy work to do your job and put on the right fights. And then we praise the person that wins that fight. We know both of them were good fighters. I do, anyways.
I got a question. After the Lomachenko Walters fight, I don't usually pay attention to what fighters say after the fight, but did Walters make any comments or excuses about why he lost the fight?
Yeah, he mentioned his layoff. He mentioned like, yo, I don't get fights. He was like, I don't get fight. What incentive does he has to come train hard for you if he gets a good win and then you stop
Now,
giving?
I've
He
seen
gets a
many
good win
boxers
and
with
then stop giving fights.
sorry to cut you off. I've seen many boxers that take long fucking ass layoffs, and they come back, and sometimes sometimes they lose, because of the layoff. Sometimes they win, but usually they don't quit.
But that's just the thing. A layoff could be the much needed rest. Maybe you're nursing an injury. Maybe you want to do some PEDs and cycle off so you're not doing VADA during your layoff. I mean, layoffs could be very beneficial to a lot of fighters. You know what I
Well,
mean? So it could go both ways. And honestly, if you want to hate, you're gonna paint it as a negative. If you want to give Lomachenko props, you're gonna paint Walters, as he took a great rest and he was fresh coming into that fight. If you want to be objective, you're not gonna talk about any of that. You're gonna look at what's going on in the ring and you're gonna
no.
base it off that. That's being
No, no, no,
objective.
no. Objective is going to see the entire picture.
That guy
So
quit.
if you're saying that I'm hating on Lomachenko, how do I know Lomachenko from Usyk? I'm an American black man. I praise Usyk. I have no problem. He hasn't done such. He's a role warrior if he needs to be.
I
Lomachenko
don't
has.
even feel like getting into the race thing because I don't even see you as a
Okay, I
race
get that.
troll
I'm
at
just
all,
saying.
in no way
I'm
whatsoever.
just talking for me. I'm talking for me. If I
Yeah.
praise Usyk, Usyk is my number two pound for pound. If he's capable of being there, his good friend Lomachenko, if he done the job right, he would be there. I have no problem giving him his props. But
I
when
don't think
your
he gives a shit where you put him on the pound for pound list, to be honest. But look, you you can sit there and say that Walters coming off a year layoff was a bad thing.
he
Maybe it
mentioned it.
was, maybe it wasn't. We really don't know. Well, he mentioned it because he got his ass whooped. He also said Lomachenko was gonna knock me out. He also said that. He also said no mas. He said a lot of things. Who gives
Okay,
a shit what he said?
I remember this comment when he said, "Yo, why should I take lower money for a better fighter? They're not trying to pay me for a fight that I could lose, or But at the end of the day, it's a fighter coming into the fight to win prepared. But when he's not prepared, that makes it even worse. I get it. I don't mind a fighter saying, "Yo, I can win, I can lose." I already know
Who
that.
said he wasn't? Wait. Who's saying he wasn't prepared? He had
No,
two
no,
months or
two
more to
months.
prepare.
Okay. Well, what I need Lomachenko to do is this. I need Lomachenko to do this. All right.
Nah, man, but let's okay, whatever.
Hold on, Bucho. Hold on. What I need Lomachenko to do is this. Let's just say Mikey Garcia was at 130. Sit out for a whole year, Lomachenko. Come back with 2 months' notice. Fight Mikey Garcia. And let's see how good you are. If you do that, I'll forgive all of your little bullshit. But that's not gonna happen. Because it's
Loma
not
ain't quitting though. I don't think he
ain't
would
set up
quit.
to that to do that.
Okay, but that's a little. Come on, Lopez. That's ridiculous.
I'm
That's
That's
what
just
you
dumb.
saying.
want
I'm
him
just
to.
That's
saying. I get
That's
it. I'm out there with that. I'm out there with that. But what I'm saying is, it's out there for any fighter to be doing that.
okay.
That's
But
an
I want to
You're
go
out.
not a
back to the
hater,
wall.
but you want the man to waste a whole year out of his career. But
No,
you're
no.
not a
I'm just saying.
hater.
No, no,
But
no,
you're
no. I'm
not a
telling
hater.
you. I'm telling you that the tables wouldn't even turn to that because it's a protected fighter. It's a protected fight. If Barrera was not protecting them, why not just put both of them in there at the same damn time and say, you know what, the winner of this fight, I'm giving you his undercard, I'm giving you the main event, and then you're fighting if you win. The winner of that fight
Oh,
will
I,
be
I
promoted.
wish I wish every fighter was as protected as Lomachenko. If he is, I wish every fighter. How the fuck do you protect a fighter throwing them in with a low blowing headbutter like Salido and a referee that's grabbing up on you and preventing you from fighting and you put him against the Mexican in Texas with Lawrence Cole in the ring. That's some fucking protection plan, man. I
I
wish
see a lot of people.
I wish they protect Wilder
Let me
like
get this
that.
straight. Let me get this straight. A lot of
Oh,
people
I don't
when
think you're ever gonna get it straight,
no,
man.
no, no, hold on. A lot of people when Loma hurt Salido in the last round. They bitch and complain about Lawrence Cole was stopping the fight. Look, Lomachenko used his head to break a clinch, literally ducked his head in the man's face, broke a clinch. Lawrence Cole took 3 seconds to say, "Yo, pick your head up." That's his right to do that. You just used your head. I don't get it. I don't get the what people are so upset about. And it's another instance late in the fight where it's proven well he wasn't trying to keep Salido up. Roy Jones talking about, oh my God, look at that. He just bought him more time. He just told the fighter quit using your head to break the clinch. When you clinch, Salido doesn't dig his head in you and break it. He waits on me.
No, he just jumps in with his head every single time he gets close to you, and then he grabs you. But anyway, whatever, man. I don't even understand why we're talking about the Salido fight when that was 3 or some years ago, and the man is not clearly not the same fighter. And that was a close competitive fight that could have gone either way. He didn't get it because he's not protected. Okay, he wasn't protected in that fight. You want to say he's protected now? That doesn't mean anything to me. All I could go by is what's happening in the ring, and what I see in the ring is skill-wise, talent-wise, the best fighter in the game right now. Does he have a lot to prove? Absolutely, and I can't wait to see him prove it because it's going to be a whole bunch of this going on still, and I'm just going to sit back, enjoy, and it's going to be fun, man. It's going to
So
be
if it's
fun.
not
But
protected, if it's not protected, tell me this:
it doesn't
what
matter.
other
I don't
what
care. I
other
don't care if
top
he is
fighter?
or he isn't.
Okay, what? But just tell me this: what other top fighter in 2018 fought a guy coming up two weight divisions? If I mean, who else? Who else? No one. I don't know anyone. Earl Spence, no. Keith Thurman, no. Danny Garcia, no.
Yeah,
Uh,
but you gotta look at the. I'll answer that.
Crawford,
You
no.
gotta take a look at the fight. I know people don't like to give Rigondeaux praise. They think he was old and blah blah blah. But man, let me tell you something. I watched almost all of the fights I could on Rigondeaux and Lomachenko during the build up to the fight. Let me tell you something. This is an interesting question. Who else at 130 or 135 could
All
do
of
to
them.
Rigondeaux what Lomachenko did? And that's a hard question to answer, man.
Hey, did you remember when the 26 guy, the Japanese guy, I think he was Asian. I don't know if Chinese, Japanese, I don't know.
All the same thing, right?
Okay. No, no, I ain't saying that. I ain't gonna disrespect him like that. I just don't
I'm
know.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, go ahead.
He drops down to 22. He's huge, and he's dropping the shit out of Rigondeaux. So I believe if Rigondeaux go puts on 8 more pounds, make himself a lot, he was a lot more slow than he naturally is. I called that coming in that the extra muscles gonna make him slower, and it did.
Yeah, but
And
Lomachenko.
this guy,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
and this guy come, the 26 guy drains himself, knocks him down. I don't think he's beating anybody at 130.
I don't
No,
know about that, man. I mean, listen,
not the top 10, not the top 10.
the top 10 at 130. You
No,
mean
that
that?
he's not beating them, and I'm not saying that great. He's just not supposed to be there. He ain't supposed to be there.
I I don't know. I don't really see a murderer's row. What the hell is that? Okay. Yeah. I mean, other than maybe Burchelt, who's pretty strong. I mean, I'm giving Rigondeaux a chance at least against the bottom five, top five at the division, and
Potentially, but let me tell you, Lomachenko defense is better. Not to say that he's gonna blow all of them out or he's gonna blow his defense. He had no stylistic matchup here. Some of these fighters that you may say are Rocky Martinez, he might land the left hand, hurt his eye. He might potentially because the guy doesn't move his head. But at the end of the day, man, I just don't see him. He has no business in with most of them for the most part. He has a puncher's chance with all of them, and that's it.
Okay, so who beats Lomachenko then? Who beats Lomachenko?
At what weights? 30?
His weight.
At 30?
His weight. Yeah.
I would favor Lomachenko to beat. I don't think Division's great. I think he beats all of them at the weight. I think he can beat them.
hmm.
That's
Okay,
why I
so you
don't
think
want.
he's the
That's why I
best?
don't want
So
to
you
see.
think he's the man at 130? That's what you think. Who beats him at 135?
That's different. Those are more
Okay, who
challenges.
beats him at 135? Who beats him?
I'm not sold on them either, but Linares is the best opponent he's fought. Robert Easter would be the best opponent he's fought. Who else is at 135? If Mikey Garcia's there, he's the best opponent he's fought. And by no means,
Who's gonna beat him?
and
No,
by
who's
no
gonna? I need you to
means,
commit. I
I
need you to
don't. I'm not
commit to
commit.
who's
I'm
gonna
not
beat him at
committed. Let me tell you.
135.
Let me tell you. I'm not committed on all these guys because I
So
have
you
no
think he's
trust
the
in
man at
them.
135? 140.
No,
Who beats him
no,
at
no.
140?
Never said he was the man at 135. Never. I
Who
just
beats
don't
him?
trust.
Who beats him?
I wouldn't
Who
trust
beats
him
him?
no more than I
Who
trust
beats
Easter.
him?
I
Who
would
beats
like
him?
to see Lomachenko fight. What's his name? What's the boy's name? Easter fought. He knocked him down late. He knocked Easter down. He got up.
Richard Comey.
Goddamn.
Come in.
Yes, these kind of fights I would love. These would make sense. I would love it. I would
For
love it.
what?
But
Oh
I
my
mean, I'm not.
god.
I'm not saying he has to go to 35. He doesn't have to be at 35. He can go to 30 all he wants.
But who would you
But
pick
I mean,
to
if you
beat him?
So he should just move
Low
out of
place.
130 already and get it over with. Like fuck it.
No. He
Low
could
place. Who beats
dominate
him?
that.
Low
He
place.
could
Come on,
dominate
man.
130 for 20 years
You-
and get his credit off that net alone. That is a-okay.
Well,
Who
he will
beats
never
him?
get credit though,
135.
right?
Why would he never get
At
credit for
130,
dominating
because you're already saying like
130?
he beats everybody. So it's like then the excuse is
Yeah.
gonna be,
No, but
well, the division
doesn't
is
take away.
the division
That doesn't
suck.
take away. Look, I thought Crawford beat everybody. It doesn't take away that I can call him the undisputed champion. I may not have him rated pound for pound number one, but that's something you can. I may not have him. Hell, Crawford could drop off my pound for pound list and all, but I can say this: he was the man at 140.
So where do you got
That's
Crawford
all
on
it
your pound
counts.
for pound list? Where do you got Crawford on your pound for pound list?
Four, four, and
4. So
and
when
he could
Gamboa stepped up in
and,
weight
and
and
he could
Crawford
drop easily.
struggled with him. Hold on. So when Gamboa stepped up in weight and Crawford struggled with him, that's not anything we should criticize him for.
Yes, you should.
He struggled with Crawford,
That's one thing I criticized him for. That's one thing I crit. That's why he's not at
but
one.
you still got him, high up, and you still
Yeah,
praising him, even though
yeah.
Gamboa took rounds off of him, right? And
Yes, he
Rigondeaux
did.
didn't win a second of that fight,
Yeah,
but Gamboa was taking rounds off your boy.
he did. It ain't my boy. I'm just telling you the truth.
No,
He
well,
is
you know
number
what I
four
mean.
on the
You know
list.
what I mean.
He's number four on the list, and he could fall off the list. I'm not here to protect him or anybody else. He could fall off the list easily. I'm not impressed with some of his performances. I don't think he fights as well as other people, and he could fall off the list. Lomachenko isn't on the list.
Hey,
Simple.
it's your list, man. It's your list.
But like I said, Lomachenko could dominate 130. Hell, all of them could. Burchell could dominate 130, and I still be like, I don't know if you pound for pound, you dominated 130, but I don't know if you're pound for pound. That's just how I look at it.
Damn.
Wait. Why is Anthony Stevenson number one pound for pound in your list again?
I mean, who? Okay, all right. You Tony Bellew goes to cruiserweight, wins the title,
Oh,
knockout, 3
okay.
rounds, goes up to heavyweight, wins. Knocks him out. Knocks him out in 4. How many
Yeah, I
rounds?
remember.
How many rounds? No. How many rounds did it take him? Look, Adonis Stevens is 5'10". Tony Bellew 6'3". The man knocks his ass out in like what? 5 rounds. This ain't nothing to laugh about. This is fucking ridiculous. 40, 30 year, whatever he is. Fun Farah, 6'3". Chad Dawson, 6'2". The man's 5'10". He's fighting giants every damn night. Knockouts.
Okay, like
Can
you're making a Chad Dawson 6'3", so like you're making it like he fought
No,
like
Chad
it's
Dawson
David against
6'1". Chad
Goliath.
Dawson is 6'1". Fun Farah, Bellew 6'3" each. Everybody's fought
Okay,
them.
well, whatever. Like, but they're not
Carpinci
great.
like
I mean,
6'1",
they're not pound
6'2".
for pound number one deserving win. Like, they're not wins that make you pound for pound. They're
Okay,
number
that's
one.
what you say. That's what you say. Well,
But
you tell me the
5'10",
wins that aren't.
5'10" Jesse Vargas. 5'10" Jesse Vargas is a little dude coming up in weight, right?
Okay, and Pacquiao was on the
Okay.
list, but Pacquiao, look at Pacquiao. He was on the list. He had a shot to beat Mayweather. He got schooled in the fight. You know,
No,
he
he
was on
didn't.
his face. He was on
No,
his
he
face
didn't.
versus Marquez, flat out on his face. You got to hold that against him. You got to. Okay, that's
Even though
period.
he beat him 3 times. Okay, that was a draw technically because
Did
they
he?
robbed his ass.
Did he? Did he? The third fight he beat him.
Yeah, he did.
The third one? I ain't sure about that one. Sure, third fight. Now he beat Bradley twice. Pacquiao's missed a whole bunch of people. Who's ducked
You're
Pacquiao at
dismissing Bradley,
147?
I
man.
can't.
Who's ducked
I can't
Pacquiao at
do this one.
147? Who
I don't.
ducked him at 147? Danny Garcia?
Oh shit.
Danny
Never mind.
Garcia? Danny Garcia ducks you and you don't fight Kell Brook. You don't look. If you're not gonna fight him, get the hell out that weight division. You're holding him up. It's simple.
Here we go with the who ducked who. Oh my god.
All right.
Anyway,
Can I?
That's a way to stay on the list.
Let me just jump in here. Because I'm loving this conversation, by the way. But Covert, Naora, is that the guy that you were talking about in your channel?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's in the chat room. He's talking shit about you. I mean,
Oh yeah, he's there, man.
yeah, he's there, man. I don't know how he found out that you were here, but I don't want to sandbag you. But next time, would you be willing to get it on with him, or is that just something that you've already moved past?
Not a problem.
Well,
Not
I
a
mean, if
problem.
it happened, I don't know.
We could do it. We could do it right now. We could do it right now too. I
Well,
got
now-
38% on my battery on my phone, so bring it.
Well, I don't know if he even wants to come in. I just saw him in the chat and he was talking. Somebody said, what's he saying? He says, this whole shit started with Precise going at Inoue as a retort to Loma. Is Naito a Japanese guy, by the way?
I don't know.
Or is he one of those
It really
guys
doesn't matter, to be honest.
No, but I just want to know, because I want to know if he's
Well,
Japanese.
who cares, man?
Well, I want to know because there's people out there that pretend to be Japanese. You know, like that girl from Seinfeld who pretended to be Chinese. You never know. But all I can say about this is that I really enjoyed this conversation. I was planning on ending this thing at 6 p.m., but then you guys started going at it with this subject, and it was pretty entertaining. I will say this: it's pretty hard when a guy quits in the ring. It's pretty hard to know what exactly was going through his head or what the circumstances were behind him quitting. All I know is he wasn't doing jack to Lomachenko. Lomachenko was dancing around him, and he quit. Now, that's one thing, and I've been watching boxing for the better part of my life. That's more than 20 years. But what I'm seeing Lomachenko do, I've never seen anybody else do it. Now, maybe I'm buying into the hype.
That's what I was.
Maybe
sorry.
Lowplace is right. Maybe it's all hype and it's all smokes and mirrors. But I gotta tell you, I'm impressed. So the good thing about this is that Lomachenko is still young. He's still gonna be fighting, and he's gonna be taking on good guys in the future. He's gonna keep fighting good opposition because that's what people want him to do. So I guess we'll keep an eye on him and see what happens.
Change the angle and pivot. He's changing the angle and pivot. That's what he's doing. He's changing angles. He's pivoting off of slips. It's boxing. But I mean, at the end of the day, do it versus the best one of the best.
I don't know. I've never seen a guy like that fight. I mean, I've never seen a guy like Lomachenko, man.
All right. So listen, people in the chat, now that he's saying, I'll message you in a second. Well, don't do it, man, because today we're gonna end this now. We gotta go.
Really?
Yeah, we gotta go, man. But we'll do it next week now, man, or in maybe midweek. I don't know what your guys' schedules is, so we'll keep an eye on that. First of all, I appreciate everybody that came here on the panel, like always. Hamed, Ray, Victor, Precise, and Lowplace. You guys went at it pretty good, man. I want to thank everybody in the chat room. B-Prop, KR, Cover Operative, Nicola Ferrari, Mark Funk, Akuma's Deception, Reese Mack, LR Chiga, who else? Reverse Lee was in there for a while. He doesn't come by me often. He must be busy. Red Fox was in here as well. Shout out to him and check out his channel too. He's got a good channel. He does late night streams for your late night entertainment. We got David Wibblery was in there as well. And, what's his name? This guy, Naoda, who wanted to get in some of the action, but I guess we'll save that for later. And by the way, he's saying he's not Japanese. He's saying he's from... The name is Japanese though. Okay, so see, I told you. I knew he wasn't Japanese. I got a knack for this type of things. I'm gonna tell you something right now. So I want to thank everybody that was in here. Check out Lowplace's channel. Check out Precise Puncher's channels. They put videos on the regular. They're very consistent with them, and they really provide some good commentary. And you will always be entertained when you check out their stuff. Let me tell you that much right now, and educated. So for King Bucho and Mr. BDA, I want to thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one, folks. Take care.
All right, peace out, everyone.
All right, see you, man. Thanks for being here again, both of you.
Yep.
It's like me against anyone. Verse for verse is spontaneous combustion. Trust me, no rapper can dust me. Bounced upon the scene with a theme. Word life, a cup fantasy out, cause I differ from a dream. Wisdom lies deep in my molecules. You assumed I fell victim to hip hop blues. Yo, way off, I stayed on tour often. Rocking spots on the California coast. Ranging on back to Boston, enforcing my theory. Leaving rappers teary-eyed, find most who came and thought they had stride. You accustomed to cussing and bluffing, fussing for nothing. Half of y'all crumbs are just soft like muffins I bake. Masterpieces, sharper thesis. Y'all candy-coated motherfuckers snake like Thesis. Needless to say, are these runners shoes yours? You retreated when I gave out head for wars. My microphone set is a the brick wall. Silent in and out, you slept, so now snore. Who got my back? You ass Lord and Blastmaster. Unorthodox combinations from the masters. Mics are menace, when it's finished. You get an understanding of what we bringing. No.
My precision is precision. I'm ill in ways you can't vision. I got niggas worshiping law finesse like religion. You can't fuck around, you're kidding. You don't want no collision. You better fly south like a pigeon. Good Britons, I flip flows you can't imagine. I break down your Flintstone style into fragments. So pay attention to the man rapping. Don't think that it can't. I'm living proof it can happen. personally figure that my Harvard style is too deep for you nursery niggas. When I clutch the mic, I'm coming rough and right. I build more than them workers on construction sites. I'm skilled at it, I'm illmatic. So yes answers your question if you ask me, do I still have it? I'm the realest, the illest, coming out the woodworks like them homos in the village. But seriously, I got the remedy if I was at the bottom of the toilet. You niggas still couldn't shit on me originally. It's the same bet. I'm on that get rich list, but they didn't call my name yet. I make it special like a prom night. I ball mics while other brothers are old news like what the Cronkite is critical. You got these Xerox individuals for word life. It ain't nothing like the original. I wreck kids. That's my theory and perspective when it comes to hip hop. I'm on the case like detectives. You better step to the next man, cause the greatest soccer player couldn't kick it like Finesse can.